Hello everyone and welcome back to Roll For It, where favorite YouTubers and streamers get together to play some lovely tabletop RPGs. Of course, today we are playing Silence of Shadows, our Vampire Masquerade 5th edition campaign. We're on a second season now and quite a way in. And there is lots of drama happening, lots of intrigue happening, and nothing bad is going to happen today at all.
I'm not the one that said there was.
Just made faces.
I'm just you expect the past three. Can you tell me something in the past 3 sessions that has been bad that has happened to you? There's a great quote there's a great quote at the end of The Office at the end of season 9 made by Ed Helms, Andy character, and he says, "Man, I wish we knew we were in the good old days when we were in the good old days, or while we're experiencing them. So now that good 3 days, you didn't take the time to enjoy them, and now when you look back and you go, Mathis never gives us any good times. Well, I did. You just didn't enjoy it when it was happening."
Look, if I didn't enjoy it when it's happening, you're doing something wrong, mate. It's your fault.
I'm enjoying it, Dad.
Good time.
Great.
That's fine. If you're just telling me the good old days are boring, then I just can't give you good old days.
Damn it. Such a good point. Anyway, moving on from Mathis.
I just wanted to play some vampire, you guys.
I just want to have my emotions broken. Anyway, announcements and stuff. Right. Firstly, today's supporter is Ace 1055. I would make a heart shape, but it's difficult. Wait, there we go. I'm holding my tattoos. Ace, thank you for supporting today's episode and make it possible to pay all the cast and all the cats, who I'm sure at any point will go meow. No, Minnie? Not on command? Mathis, just make your unhappy sound. There we go. That's totally Minnie. NPC name submissions are open, so if you want to submit NPC names to be people who will probably get murdered or killed or something, please feel free to do so. I might actually be having a look at that. I've got an idea. So please do so if you're at the correct tier on Patreon. Monthly recap is coming soon, for reals this time, and we get to announce the cast for the new Sunday RPG, which is taking place a week Sunday. So not tomorrow, but a week Sunday. We'll be starting Dawn of the Others, an Apocalypse World campaign. And we know that Maggie's going to be the GM, but the cast is going to be Kira, Nika, Bentham, and Adriosa. So that's going to be our cast for our lovely Dawn of the Others, an Apocalypse World 2 RPG show. So go check that out in a week's time, but feel free to check out the finale of Monster Hearts tomorrow. First.
Who got the girl? Who? Well, I wonder who's going to get the girl.
No one. Everyone's going to die. It's going to be TPK.
Oh, that's fine.
Come on, Maggie. It's going to be TPK, right? I'm looking at... She's in chat right now. Maggie, you're going to
kill
kill
about Monster Hearts. Aren't you like a girl in there? And like dateable?
No, there's Monster Hearts. Oh, there's 2 girls in there.
Yeah. Well, all right. Sorry.
Yeah. Look, the girls have been had many times.
All I'm saying is I saw you in a blonde wig and everybody else I forgot, so...
Look, you're playing my emotions today. At one time you say I'm not enjoying the happy stuff and then saying bad things are going to happen, and then you're complimenting me. I don't know what our relationship is, Mathis.
You pay me.
We're all wondering too, though.
Fair enough. I'm glad we're all in the same boat on this one. Mixed messages. Yeah, mixed messages indeed. Anyway, that said, if you want to support the show and make it possible to confuse me and gaslight me, I don't know what's going on, feel free to go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/rollforit, where there's a number of tiers and rewards. There's the Get EE Confused tier, and the EE gets even more bizarrely just discombobulated. So feel free to go check out all those tiers. There's stuff like access to the Discord, which, you know, is great. Everyone's on there. It's fantastic. There's also after shows where we talk about what happened in the show. And then there's stuff like, you know, NPC names and so on, and all the cool stuff you can do. There's a number of different things. Go check them out on our Patreon, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Secondly, if you want to support on Twitch, you can do so. You can subscribe. That gets you access to the Discord as well. Lovely emotes and so on. And you can use bits and tips to go into the thing down there. Oh, there's a lovely subscription right there. Jack, thank you much. And it managed to stay in the cup. Nice. Nope, it knocked a bit out. There we go. Physics. Physics is fun. I was saying, tips and bits go in and physics will happen down there in the pot. Also, other things you can do. You can go on YouTube. You can be a YouTube member if you want. We've got, I think, 2 of them. You can do that. It does a thing. It gets you access to our Discord as well. And also, finally, you can tell people about the show. That's a really good way to support, actually. Just tell people about the show. Spread the word. Tweet the tweet. Retweet the things. do the social medias. Maggie will beat me up if I don't say that. So do the social medias. It's actually really, really helpful. Let people know about the show. Or you could gift 20 subs, Combat Zerg. That does that. Thank you.
Whoa.
Yep. Okay, physics are happening a lot right now in that cup. That's a lot of... There we go. There are bits happening. Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Combat Zerg. Right, where were we? Oh, yeah, that said, welcome to Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade, by default, is a pretty messed up world. Lots of bad stuff happens, and that's kind of built into the world. And because of that, we try to represent it as truly as possible, which means it's going to be a pretty messed up world that we represent. This means two things. Firstly, we are playing characters. We are not playing ourselves, at least as far as I'm aware. Let me just go check the light. I'm not burning. Cool. Okay. So please bear that in mind yeah, if you hate characters, that's fine. Just don't hate the players. The players are playing a role. They aren't the role itself. That's just a thing. Secondly, please bear in mind that because we'll be touching a lot of potentially dodgy and dangerous and iffy topics, because this is an adult show. Please bear that in mind, and if at any point something we touch on is something that you are a little bit uncomfortable about, feel free to take a small break, go make a cup of tea, mute the stream for a bit, or skip an episode if you need to. You don't need to harm yourself on our account. Just bear that in mind, and I think that is everything. So, with trepidation, I'm going to put my heart in Maths' hands.
Our establishing shot is actually quite simple, as it's a familiar one. The sounds of jovial conversation and beers and TV and music spill out of Ollie's bar in a back alley as it rings past into the main street and floods it, as a bunch of just pedestrians wander the sidewalks with Ollie's homeless shaking their cans and looking for money. But the camera zooms past it, in its way into Ollie's bar on a Friday night where it's rather busy. The entire bar is filled with people sitting, and Grant is behind the bar. There is a familiar face sitting at the bar itself, and Grant double takes a few times before he eventually decides to step away into the kitchen where Ollie's cooking in the current moment. Boss, is this guy? He's been here for, this is probably like the handful of times I've seen him. He's been just showing up a lot. He looks familiar, and I can't really place him.
Is he alone?
Yeah, he's been alone every single night.
All right.
I just
you see
figured maybe I point him out to you. Maybe you know him or something. Maybe you're looking for something.
Sure. I'll take a look then.
Sure. And so he walks over to the kitchen door and just holds it open. He doesn't ask, he doesn't have you go out or anything. And he just points at the guy who's sitting 2 seats to the right of what Dakota's seat usually is at the end. He's a young guy, definitely well built. Short hair, and when you look at him, you do recognize him. It snaps immediately, and he awkwardly looks like he's finishing a second beer as the other one is pushed away from him empty. This is who Ava fed on.
Okay.
The bouncer, Eric.
Okay. All right. I'll handle this. I think a boy might be a little lovesick.
Okay. So you know him then?
Yeah, briefly. I think I caught a name like Dan or Eric or something. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, do you want me to head him back? You gonna take care of this now, or you want to wait? He stays till close. He'll be here.
Well, he's been waiting on someone. So I guess better me than no one. So if you think you can handle this back here, it's just a medium rare cheeseburger. Just handle that, and I'll
he immediately reaches for the other apron that hangs on the wall near the ovens and ties it to himself and starts flipping burgers.
Thanks, Grant. I'll head out to see the bouncer.
As you make your way out, again, it's rather busy out here. What are you dressed like, out of curiosity, right now? Do you have like your face plate on? Do you have the skull mask on? What kind of Ollie is stepping into public?
Knowing that I'm working with food and still trying to maintain the anonymity, I probably have a mask to actually like block the beard, like a beard mask.
Okay, gotcha.
Over my face.
Man, so you took like bandana style
sort of
kind of thing? Okay, gotcha. So just completely bandana tied up, and as always, your long sleeves, and you've got gloves on anyway. You're working with food, and You make your way out there. And like I said, there he is, and just not even paying attention. He's not even looking at the TV, watching the game. He's literally just kind of spinning the bottle very slowly in place with just one hand, as you realize it is now also an empty bottle. He hasn't looked up though.
I'll clear the bar off, make it look like I'm working, and then I'll finally I'll kind of catch my eye, like, hey, wait a minute, don't I recognize you?
He looks up to you, and his eyes squint, and he actually will make a check to see if he recognizes you, not only just because he interacted with you once and that night is kind of a blur, but you're also wearing a mask. Poor guy's not the smartest guy in the world. Now he does not remember you at all. He looks to you with just a confused look of, I don't think so. But could you get me another? And he just shakes the bottle.
Yeah, I can. You and I'll pop the top off him. Get another beer.
That thing hits the cap hits the wooden table with that very satisfying clink.
You're the kid that came in the other night with my sister Ava.
His eyes widen instantly, not in an excited way, I forgot I met someone that, was not just Ava, and he kind of breathes a bit, kind of heavy. You can watch him. He's like an animal. Again, he's a human to you, and you can watch his breathing gets faster, his eyes widen. You can see he's immediately get nervous in front of you. He doesn't respond when you say that. He just looks at you.
Hey, what's wrong, kid?
I'll pay my tab and go. And he just reaches for his wallet.
Look, I'm not mad. All right, let me guess.
Have you seen her?
Yeah, she's of course. We're family. What do you mean have I seen her?
I just haven't. She told me she would get back. I can't get her out of my head, man. Look, I can't get her out of my head. And he at that point, he pushes the beer bottle aside and he throws his elbows up on the table and he just throws his forehead into his hands and he leans down. He's like, she's all I think about. I broke up with my girlfriend already.
Yeah, that checks out. Look. What was your name? Brian?
Eric.
Eric, right, Eric. Look, Eric. My sister is
incredible, perfect,
incredibly
amazing, beautiful,
messy, perfectly imperfect, beautifully a mess.
You're her brother. What do you know?
I fucking grew up with her. Kid, I know more than probably most.
He shakes his head and he's like, "You're her brother, though." So
look, I'll be candid with you. And this is on me. All right? And I'll push the beer to him. I've seen her go through guys faster than she goes through underwear. All right?
Yeah, but I'm different. She told me I was different.
That's what she says to all of them. I've heard it. Okay, I've seen it. You're not the first. You sure as hell won't be the last. But this is one you got to get over, kid.
I'd be okay with an open relationship.
I mean, that might actually increase your odds. She likes to move around a lot.
Can you give her my number? I don't think I gave her my number. Please give her my number. Yeah, and then he immediately looks for a napkin. He's like, "You got a pen?"
Yeah, I can get you something.
Thanks. And he just sits there and he kind of awkwardly slouches in his seat and he leans over in his chair and scratching his eyebrows and awkwardly just waiting for you until you bring a pen or something back.
Here you go, kid.
Thanks. And he just immediately snatches it from you and just starts scribbling his number down, folds the paper, and then he very specifically puts it in your hand.
I'll see you soon. Probably much sooner than you will, but if you had to leave any imparting message, something that you think is going to draw her back to your open arms, Eric, what do you think it would be?
I'll be back tomorrow. And he gets up.
Shit. Okay. All right. Don't get lost or hit by a car or anything.
As the front door swings open, hurriedly kind of walking out, in walks Dakota. Just a night. You haven't done. You scanned the radio at the beginning part of the night, and nothing ended up happening there. Cool. Eventually, made your way into Ollie's bar, and this guy just kind of speeds by you and pushes by you. Are you hungry?
Not like his beer.
That's yeah. What can I get you? Apparently it's open stage tonight.
Yeah, are you hungry right now? How's everybody? Oh, everybody, rouse check, please.
Oh gosh. Rousing success. Ollie only fed 1 point of hunger, right?
Yep, it was a 1-1. You guys we're at 2 even each. Wow, Ollie, Dakota, the only one not going up. Everybody else went up.
I'll suppress it.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm consoler of the lonely tonight. That was another one of Ava's. Miss Danger Thigh struck again.
Oh. Well.
He's heartbroken, and he's basically hamstrung until he gets a phone call. And he's definitely coming back tomorrow night.
I mean, if he's that fucking stupid, then it sounds to me like he deserves to be eaten. I mean, Ava could call him up and get her feels whenever she wants.
Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of juju she's been working with now, but that kid is hooked. Like, way worse than any of the others we've seen. He said he left his girlfriend.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
well.
And Danger Thigh's the homewrecker. I would have guessed it.
Almost on cue.
The
door swings
we would
open.
have guessed it, yeah.
In walks Danger Thighs herself.
Hello, guys.
is awe on? Do you walk in with awe on? I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Yes, I walk in with awe on.
With awe on? So you say, and on cue, it's impeccable. It's like movie timing. And only Ava could have such timing. The door swings open. Ava walks in, and the conversation instantly drops to a murmur as all the attention in the bar swings to what is Ava wearing this evening?
She is wearing a low plunging dress. So it's like one of those long V lines.
So nothing new. Got it.
A nice, beautiful necklace with a black gem in the middle. And her usual high heels that she likes to, her gold high heels that she likes to wear. And she comes clacking in with her heels and her dress kind of flowing a bit.
And everybody watches with intensity.
Ava.
Hello, guys. How goes it?
I get that it's second nature, but can you not turn that on? It's like you got a dick and you constantly have it out. And you're
on, Ollie.
Showing it to the world.
If you had these powers, you would flaunt it too.
Yeah, sure, I would. By the way, I slapped the number down the table. This is Eric.
Oh, right, Eric.
Yeah, he said he's coming back tomorrow.
Did he know to find you here?
Well, I brought him back here to feed, of course. Where else was I gonna go? To the septic tank?
Yes!
That does not.
Anywhere else other than here. This is a public place. He came in asking questions, Ava.
What is there about
Bring him to the boat. That way, if he shows back up, I can get rid of him.
You know what? I'm going to commission you a steel straw so you can just insert it in the neck as you pass by and grab a slurp of anything you want.
I'm like keeping my voice down, but I'm like, can you turn the off so everybody will go back to there?
Fine. I turn it off.
Yeah, and you turn it off, and while the murmuring doesn't immediately stop, people still watch for a while. Over the course of a few minutes, the people will eventually snap their attention away, and conversation will slightly kind of return to normal. There's always that undercurrent of people gawking at how beautiful Ava is, even without awe on, because that is just...
Look over the bar. Avert your eyes, pervs. Go on.
You catch a couple, and a few of them snap down. And as you say perv, the door opens, and in walks Crowley. Crowley has, in my mind, the opposite of Ava timing. It's like comedic timing.
It's not Ava timing. I'm just going to send you a quick message.
You want to do the other thing now instead?
This feels so 90s sitcom. I'm waiting on to be like,
no, I've got mine.
Me too. I'm waiting for our theme song to kick in.
Yeah.
This
the
is
opposite happens when Crowley
credits.
walks in. Why do all my shit over there? Hang on, you can dictate what the crowd reaction is while I go grab my other thing.
Right.
Yeah, as Crowley walks in, opens the door, the crowd also look in his direction, but there's that fear response in everyone. Everyone kind of, you see, like, hair stands up on the back of their necks. They all shuffle their chairs slightly back.
Everything gets uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And tense as Crowley walks in. Now, Crowley, you realize almost always when he walks in these places, it's always slow nights. Not a ton of people around, and anybody acting kind of awkward when Crowley's been around, it's because it's been late. People have been drunk and it's been easy to push off. This is the first time that you walk in and there's a crowd of people, and it becomes immediately obvious to the rest of the coterie that the bar tenses up. People start getting up and others begin to leave.
Crowley walks over. This isn't new to him.
Yeah, maybe we should convene and say the back.
I guess I never really noticed it since Ava consistently has awe on. It's like it sort of counteracts his.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, yeah, if Ava has awe on, it's hard. There's a lot of competing emotions happening there.
Crowley's thing isn't quite as widespread. It's just if anyone's very near him and so on.
Mm-hmm. It's as he moves through the crowd. It's not like he walks in the entire bar like turns like Ava does. It's different. It's as
he pushes past someone, they'll instinctively step like two paces away.
And that's when people get up and walk away and leave. It's not a giant aura thing. It's a very specifically as he gets close to people thing.
Is it just a kind or is it a kindred as well?
Just a kind.
Okay. I may have took something twice that you're not meant to be able to take twice because I took another perk, so it's very powerful. Right. Hello there. What's going on?
Just another day in the neighborhood.
Basically, just dealing with some shit. That's been normal.
Right. Fair enough.
So, Ava.
You all move to the back. Don't worry.
Okay, don't bring them back here, maybe.
Well, all right, but I really need a place, a real haven, then. I could bring him back to the boat, but I don't want to bother you with that, Dakota. He's gonna come back, and you can't eat him. I need him.
Well, then...
None of you can eat him. I point to...
Well, that's actually something... Well, that's also something interesting, too. Ava saying, I need him. That may lead to the idea of why he's so desperate to return.
Okay. Now I'm intrigued, Ava, because you don't seem to take to one particular man.
Listen, friends, I have something that I use sometimes when I need somebody as an asset. It's something where I do let them taste a little bit. Or they taste
well, no, basically,
I'm gonna explain.
Is this a I got you.
I got you.
Thank you.
I got you. It's more like Toreadors have a gift to allow their kiss to be even more intense than any other kindred. And that's something you've never done before, except to get to Eric, and it's the first time you've done it. But yeah, Toreadors have a gift to make the kiss incredibly
right.
intense.
So this is a kindred thing,
the
not
other
sex
way.
thing.
I have a taste, and they love it. It's a little more eloquently. I explain that.
Still a kindred thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so he is a bouncer to a new club in my neighborhood, so I need to make sure that I have him
in your neighborhood?
Dangling at my fingertips.
I thought you said you didn't have a neighborhood because you didn't have anywhere to live.
I'm reestablishing my not to live, but to socialize.
Well, Ollie said he broke up with his girlfriend, so why don't you feed on him at his place?
Wait, Ollie broke up with his girlfriend?
No.
Well,
No,
there's a comma in there that you missed.
He broke up the
Eric
Chad, right? The Eric broke up with his girlfriend.
Okay, who is Eric?
Eric is a bouncer at a club downtown.
In case you forgot.
Ace of Spades.
Eric's a little boy that's been strung along like a puppy at this point, and he's
really shouldn't let little boys be bouncers.
Well, and especially if Ava's knocking at your fucking door.
Anyway, I brought him back here and to do the business. And I mean, like I said, I had nowhere else to go. Well, not that I had nowhere else to go, but this was the best option. And I mean,
sorry, to do the business is still in my head.
Yeah, no,
it's business to me. It's business to me.
So
I know it is.
You brought him down here to do the business.
Nobody
to have a
understands
taste
my
of him
business.
that he really liked.
Nobody understands my business. It's fine. You guys have your own business.
I'm pretty
Crowley,
sure everyone understands that business.
Dakota, Ollie, you all have your businesses. This is mine.
Okay. Well, then you're right, Ava. We need to find you an appropriate facility for your business.
I would love that very much because I'm not bringing them back. I used to have a nice penthouse that I could take men back to. Now I have a septic tank.
Wait, you have a septic tank?
Yes. It belonged to my brother. Why do you have a
septic tank?
It belonged to my brother, and it's the only thing that's left in my name.
I would say that's the dead inside look, but that's all of us.
That's
really.
what he left her.
He left her a septic tank.
It's ironic. It's
yeah.
One place to store shit. All right. Yeah. Love it.
That
anyway,
being said,
also he thinks Ollie is my brother, so we're gonna go along with that.
It's true. Hey sis, you fucked up.
Okay, wait, all right. You know what, Ava?
You brought a man back to your brother's bar to do the business.
The business.
Would you have preferred me to take him to your chopping house?
I mean, if you wanted to, but you could have just rented a hotel.
I don't really have the connections for a
You don't have 50
me-friendly hotel, a kindred-friendly hotel.
You just need it for a couple of hours.
Yeah, you weren't going to stay the night, were you? You just needed a taste.
You're expecting Ava to go to like a Motel 6.
Yes, I am.
I mean, it
she is never going to do that.
Beats the shit out of staying in a septic tank, at least for a little bit.
Why don't you just...
Why I went to an Ollie bar.
Dude,
honestly, Ava did the most Ava thing, because she doesn't have the money to take like a penthouse suite and like a triple...
but he does.
Does he?
I don't know. Do your business and pump him for money.
All right.
Wait, are you saying that, no offense to the bar, but you're saying that there was no quality hotel that was better than this bar in terms of places to stay?
You know what? Fine. I understand
I take
you guys...
plenty of offense to that.
Fair enough.
If I won't bring any guys back to Ollie's bar, if that's what we're trying to establish here.
Well, I mean, you can feed here, that's fine. Just don't hit him with your special juju or whatever you've got tucked somewhere that's got him fucking coming back like this.
I think the problem is that she's always got the juju.
Oh, boy.
Can you turn that off and on?
Yes.
Okay. So remember when to turn the light switch off before you feed. Cool?
Okay, but that one I did need to turn the light switch on because I need to make sure that if I need to go to that club, he will...
Okay, that he's there. Why aren't you feeding on him at the club?
It's a new club. I don't really know where to feed.
And he was working.
Oh.
Like you could feed in the club, Ava. Like you could feed. It's easy to make it look like you're making out and sucking on some dude's neck and giving him a hickey. But also he was working. So there's no time.
Just be careful. Showing up, asking about you, that shit, Ava, is in fucking trouble.
I know. I will handle it. I know it's only been a day, but I guess he's already back.
It's been about a week. We're basically pushing forward a week.
I'll handle it. Don't worry. I'm sorry if this caused any trouble.
No, it's fine. I said he's coming back tomorrow, and he's probably gonna buy a couple of beers. It's nice, but look, I mean, it sets the mood when you got a guy that's just crying his ass off.
Stalking you?
Honestly, it's the most interesting thing to happen this week. I feel like the rest of the week's flown by.
Maybe for you. That's all right. Yeah.
As the conversation lulls, we'll say, and everybody begins to mingle and head back out into the bar, then there's a stark realization as you all make your way out front. The bar is empty, save for 4 people. This has happened a few times, and yes, it is happening again. But this time, it's not the same people as before. Obviously, you put them all through the wall, and may or may not have had the dogs eat one of the bodies and such. But instead, you immediately can tell. One of them, at the very least, is not mortal. He stands in the center, in a gray suit with a bright orange tie and a stark red shirt that's unbuttoned about halfway down. is a 5 o'clock shadow with a completely shaved head, and he smiles from ear to ear. He's about 6 foot flat, and he's decently well built for what you would consider somebody of his size, though maybe a little on the scrawny side. And his 3 companions behind him all stay by the front door in drab attire. As you each walk out, he looks each one of you with that smile until Ollie walks out and he's like, the man of the hour, the one I'm here to see. Oliver, and then he does huge air quotes, the butcher. Hopkins. Am I incorrect?
Depends on who's asking.
Somebody who has great interest and offered you something once. Somebody here who's to offer you again.
Which might be telling as to why they have decided to come here themselves and offer it twice. So, I'm going to venture a guess. Tacky suit, surrounded by cronies. You go by, let me get, the Baron, is that your title?
And he actually just points at you. I appreciate the compliment, because I'll take it as such, a compliment. It's still bigger than what this little building is, isn't it?
I happen to like this. It's quite lovely. Thank you very much.
I actually do too. Quite a lot, which is why I'm here. And he actually opens and he flips his coat open, weaponless, and simply to have a conversation.
What about your goons?
Well, and he looks to yours. I didn't think you'd be alone.
Oh, these are not my goons. You see, this is Dakota, the Magnus Canis.
So we're under Camarilla law then. And he claps. He's like, get the, and the 3 of them leave.
This is Ava. She is
beautiful.
My sister. And this is Crowley. He's new here.
We'll intro down.
Good to meet all of you.
Take a seat, and you can start by apologizing.
He laughs, and he plops down. I apologize for the happy trigger fingers of my once ex-employees. I told them not to shoot. I have no interest in bringing harm to you or your place of business. I have only interest in working with you. But those who are hungry for power think they know better and make decisions for themselves. You must know that.
I am aware. I'm also aware that you have a very shoddy reputation in these parts, even amidst the Anarchs.
Now that does surprise me, and unfortunately so, but I still serve the cause whether they like me or not.
So tell me, Mr. Baron of Brighton Park, what the hell do you have to say and offer to me that is going to be even remotely valuable that someone isn't already offered?
That's what I'm actually here to do, is not offer you something, but ask you. What would it take? What would it take for you to subtly shift alliances away from your Camarilla City, at least openly, and with the Anarchs? Now I know, and he looks over to Dakota. I am in the presence of Camarilla, whatever you are, but I'm also not stupid. You're not the sheriff.
I want to know what it is exactly you want.
Oh,
I want details.
I guess you get what you pay for. I figured the first time around, those that were here let you know what I was looking for.
Yeah, but see, the problem is they didn't really offer anything that I didn't already have. Secondly,
that much I gathered when you killed them all.
They cost me a fair amount. When they breached the Camarilla law, you know, that whole Masquerade thing that we're supposed to continue reigning under.
Yeah, that, which, I understand, but Camarilla can be rather, futile about it, or should I say, what's the word? It's escaping me. Maybe futile is the word. Either way.
I had to pull a few strings, grease some palms, and execute some financial exchange in order to cover up, well, your poor teachings.
Please, don't lay that on me. I simply hired them.
Well, you fucked up.
That much I will admit. So, how much did you lose? What can I offer you? We'll call it restitution for damages caused. But in turn, I just want an open ear, a genuine general consideration of what I have to offer as well.
Let me think on that. I'll probably have an idea before you walk out. But I want to hear that. Let's just say you've got my ear bent. Pop a squat and speak before me and the rest of my coterie.
He takes a seat. I'm not going to make the offer unless I know you're going to listen, but I am willing to hear how much damage was done.
I didn't say that I wasn't going to listen. I just didn't say I was going to flatly accept.
That's understandable. I just want, like I said, a consideration. Nothing more. I just don't want you to dismiss anything.
I'm willing to hear it out.
If you accept my offer, it's quite simple. Your little corner of venture territory is considered anarch for the purposes of business and what will eventually be a confrontation. That way, once you accept, I will offer you a much greater slice of land, further south and into proper anarch territory that starts at the tip of your bar. It'll fall under my territory, but it'll be purveyed to you, gifted to you via me. I won't ask for any recompense or any money. The only return I need is that bar serves as an information superhighway for me and my people. We're not stupid. Your little bar is well known, at least to those around the area, and people come and go. Things slip and slide, and sometimes important bits of information or business are done there. I'm not saying I want to bomb it all or stop it or cause violence. I'm well aware that's one of your, and he looks over to your one of your rules. But simply to know the goings on. As well as gift you, as I said, plenty more land.
So you wish to move in to the Ventrue territory?
What was proper anarch territory in the first place, if I may correct you.
Things shift and change with every prince.
They do. And the anarchs shift and change with them, at least ideally.
Ideally indeed. Well, that's interesting. That's what you want. I've not really heard what you have to offer. Aside from just a little bit of space.
A little bit? Oh, maybe you misunderstand. I'm willing to offer you multiple blocks.
See,
something that even the most powerful of kindred don't always get.
And what can guarantee that?
That it is in anarch territory. No Camarilla has say in anarch territory. Proper.
Why don't you want it?
Because I have plenty. Because I am still building. And he smiles. I have plenty of land and a lot of power, but not a lot of people that want to work with me yet. I'm still... Someone called me young.
Well.
But I am also, much like you, and he looks to you, Ollie, ambitious as hell. So think on it. And he slaps the table, and he stands. Nothing more, nothing less. A partnership. One that can benefit both of us greatly. And if you run and tell the prince, I'm sure she won't be surprised.
Love that the worst you think I can do is run and tell the prince.
Well, if you do much worse than that, then you're breaking your own rules. Masquerade, can't kill another kindred, could get you killed. If you want to risk it, and he turns his back, now's your chance. And he begins to walk out the front door.
Bye.
After a few steps, the door swings open, shuts, and he leaves.
Gotta put on my jacket.
An asshole.
That was an interesting visit.
Crowley.
I'm gonna go follow him. I know this. Don't worry.
I give you a big punch on the shoulder. Yes.
I walk out the front door.
Took the words out of my mouth. If I ask for a single thing from the prince, And it was to take over a specific area of territory for the Camarilla. It did not include Anarch territory.
You know, the last I checked, they're not exactly allowed to just start moving in on reclaimed territory and just call it their own.
No.
Definitely don't think the Venture are going to let that happen.
No, and the idea that it would be given to us. Even if we did move in, we still have to defend it. Why allow him to keep his space when we could simply go take it from him, given that we already have permission?
We already have permission, right. This is not an advantageous offer in any way.
At all. I feel like he is
Dakota,
egging us on.
I'm not really up on the law here, but I feel like we might be able to just flip him over to the prince.
No, he's expecting that.
I feel like he is. You're right. But there's something else there. There's something about it. You know, I've been real careful about what I do with Grant and what Grant has seen, even though I've been trying to introduce him to it. But I know that whatever the ghoul does, the person who brought that ghoul about is also, you know, I don't know how that works with the Anarchs. But there's something all about that.
Yes, sad sorry excuse about hiring the wrong douchebags. I'm not,
That doesn't make you blameless.
I'm not so sure that was exactly the Baron. I want to say that it was, but he never outright said his name. I just assumed.
True, but he did know a lot.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, it seems like a piss poor businessman if he can't come in and at least fucking introduce himself.
What about if we reached out to the Ventru? I'm sure they wouldn't exactly like hearing about that. Out of the Anarchs is shifting in on their territory.
It's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Might be well received if it goes through Camille.
I think I can probably get it through to other lines as well. Camille's been
Mr.
rather radio
Jackson.
silent.
Yeah.
And Ballard. Ballard's got a lot of pull too, and I'm due to see that fat bastard anytime.
The camera will cut to the outside of the bar, where we see Crowley, who threw on his jacket, start stomping his way down the sidewalk quietly, presumably, obviously, and tracking and watching. You got out rather quickly, and you were able to follow him very, very quickly, and perhaps the first telling thing is he doesn't disappear. So that at least cuts out, at least as far as you know, some obvious plans that he could be. And you keep track of him for quite a while. Can I get a deck stealth check just to stay out of sight?
Sure. I'll be kicking on my celerity. Ugh.
Okay. So you go up
and I'll also fold some shadows around myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
6.
So as Crowley watches and keeps track of him, and he moves forward and stays completely out of sight, what the camera catches, and it's very subtle, but what the camera catches is as you walk by buildings, it's almost like the shadows of the buildings linger on you just a little too long. You move forward and it almost actively stretches just so that the next building's shadow catches and it kind of goes back to normal. And it's, like I said, very subtle. It's not like this all long, stretchy, snappy back stretch. It's just shifts just enough. And you're able to follow for a long while. He never gets in a car, but he sticks with the people that he's with, and they're walking as a group south. Eventually, you do cross over the 55 and make your way down into Anarch territory proper.
Do they say anything of interest?
They have very light conversation. If you are actively listening on their conversation, which I imagine you are, go ahead and give me a wits awareness. Because it's not like dead street. It's still early in the evening. People are there's other
totally,
conversations filling the air.
5.
But you do catch a whole bunch of conversation. A lot of it is just general useless garbage. A lot of talking about the people catching cute girls there, cute boys there, and whatnot, and just talking about their general surroundings. But there is a couple of times where they actually seem like they're talking and generally weighing whether Ollie is going to accept the offer or not. There is talk of a seriousness to it. So whether the thought of whether he was, a scout or whatever, or just trying to poke or prod you. There is general conversation about it. Moreover, it seems like the guy who was there, who at least accepted, and when Ollie called him the Baron, he just kind of nodded and said, "Yeah, that's me." There's like a cockiness to him when he talks. He's so convinced of himself that this was the best move he ever made, and he can't wait to hear Ollie's either counter offer or acceptance, and that's a lot of the conversation, and it's very joyous and celebratory, and almost like they're jerking each other off, like how good they did.
Okay, can I just incite the conversation we had for two things?
Sure.
A, is he genuinely the Baron? And secondly, when he said, "Oh, the ghouls weren't meant to fire" or whatever.
You can definitely incite the second one. The first one, you're not. There's no hint or whether. There's no real way to know otherwise. That's something that kind of like everybody would need to incite at the time.
True.
And this was for whether the ghouls. He seemed like he was being earnest. He definitely seemed like he was being earnest. Everybody can make an insight check on that last thing too, if you want. Something that maybe you should all just have in mind.
I probably would.
It's wits insight. It's a wits insight. So, sorry, should give you the stat that goes with it. Ava, you couldn't tell. Dakota, you could. Ollie, he definitely seemed like he was being earnest with that. So now you know. But they walk, and they do eventually make their way south into a very familiar part of Anarch territory. They walk up to a hole in the wall bar, and after a couple of they give a couple hard knocks, the door swings open, and they make their way in one at a time. This is where you sat down recently, Crowley, asked a couple questions, and then left. So we imagine Crowley's probably like 4 or 5 buildings back. He sees that from afar, recognizes where he is and where they've gone.
Going to the building is probably not the best of ideas. I'll probably just stake the building out for a little bit. If I see
however
Terry
long
pop out at any point.
Sorry, was that?
If I see Terry at any point pop out.
Yep. If you're gonna stalk for a while here, and what you will eventually will see is while the 3 or the 4 of them that walked in never come back out, you do see Terry eventually walk out with somebody, having a very I guess you could call it kind of intimate conversation, personal. They're leaned in, whispering at low hushed tones to one another. The other one is dressed in a suit, tie, and has very short, slicked hair. Oh, he's so stereotypical. It's ridiculous, Crowley.
Okay, can I listen in on that conversation?
You can try. Wits awareness. They're having a hush tones, and you're quite far away.
5, messy critical.
Messy critical. Okay, you listen in, and they are actually having a conversation about what the Baron has told them, about the offer that he stretched to Ollie, that he's waiting to hear back. That's pretty much where the end of the conversation goes before you see the well-dressed man snap his head up for a minute and tilt his ears. And then it sounds like he says something, but unintelligible and in a language you're not even sure is English. Before he stops the conversation, you see Terry head back into the bar, and he turns around. He doesn't look at you, he doesn't see you, but he begins to walk away.
So tempted to follow him. No, I'm going to stick on target. I'm going to stay on the bar.
And then you watch the bar for the rest of the evening, or until it's been a few hours?
I'll watch it till the rest of the evening, because either they'll leave, or they'll stay the night, because I can stay here longer than them.
Yep, you will know whether they basically leave or end up hanging out here.
Yeah.
So for Crowley, then, what you learn is that they stay here the night. For one reason or another, none of them leave this bar. As far as you were able to tell us, is an out underneath in the basement somewhere, which is not out of a realm of possibility, but that would also tell you something as well if that ends up being the case. Either way, none of them leave the bar this night. And that's kind of where we leave Crowley and them. Crowley will eventually make his way back to his haven as he has that spare hour that he can do so. In the meanwhile, since Crowley's gone for the rest of the evening, leaving the other 3 in the bar, we can have conversation if you'd like, or we can move forward to the next day. I'll leave it in your hands.
I mean, unless there's anything else to say.
Yeah.
Grant's around too. If there's anything you need to talk to Grant about, he's around too. But otherwise, we can move on to the next day.
How much of the night is kind of left?
Oh, a lot. You go. That was basically the first 3 hours of the night, and then Crowley followed him and then left.
Yeah, and left and stayed.
And staked it out, which you imagine that you might not see him for the night of delays.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking whether or not if there's going to be time, or if you have other plans for the night.
Look at character sheet real quick because I need to check something. Sorry.
I mean, Dakota can always go find something to do, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, if anybody has anything of import.
Has this been a night layer?
Carly, can you give me a Wits Auspex roll, please?
Sure. Let me just bump my hunger back up because I was going to eat some food that night. Wits Auspex.
I mean, you don't need to do much. You can keep the hunger up there. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that's going to cause hunger here. This is your free power.
Arouse the blood on it. Why not?
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
When I'll give you a little more that I should have remembered. You had this power in the first place. I apologize. When you see him speaking off to the side to a shoulder in the sun language, you don't see a figure, so to speak, but you do see what seems like wispy shadows whipping around in the area that he's speaking, and I want to make clear, not necessarily the same shadows that you saw in Chinatown. Not that kind of wispy shadow. More amorphous. It could be a spirit. Not all spirits necessarily take human shape right away, but there's something that you can see there that he is speaking with that is not seeable by others. It's clear because reality around it is kind of almost like water-like and wavy. It warps things,
right?
So you can kind of see that.
This could be the Giovanni.
This is just information for Crowley to have.
Okay.
My apologies for forgetting. I am endeavoring not to. To the bar. Sorry. Was there anything else?
If there was time and we had nothing pressing, I was going to see if I could make my way back to the zoo. Unless it's been too soon.
I thought you said we had been a week, right?
It had been a week, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't need to. It's 3 nights. It doesn't say consecutive. It just has to be 3 nights within, I think, 30 days. So you can go at your pace as long as it's within 30. But I will double check that ruling after.
I think that's right.
It doesn't have to be consecutive, no.
Yeah, it just says 3 nights. Pretty sure. You can easily do that if you would like to.
Okay.
It's much like before. It's very simple to get inside, and I imagine you don't you don't knock guards out every time. Just the first attempt, it was just a bit of a flub. But we're not going to necessarily need rolls here, as we've seen the path Ollie is now going to take to get to Chianta, the black spotted jaguar. Eventually, you make your way there, and the second time you arrive, she's more willing to acknowledge you, to look to you in your direction, and while you still might ask questions, her answers are still short, curt, and difficult. Now, something that's important for Ollie to know, as something we didn't clarify last time. If you want her to have the ability to go invisible, like you were speaking, that is a level 2 power.
Right.
That will, every time she does it, cause her aggravated damage. Yeah. So that's super dangerous to do, just so you know, going ahead of time. But is it the same as last time where you bleed yourself and allow her to lap it off of you at her own pace as she approaches?
I'll go back to the bowl.
Back to the bowl, rather. Easily. And there's a bowl nearby, probably the same bowl as last time. And she much more eagerly and drinks up what vitae you spill. There's less time between yourself and her of building a trust, and after she drinks what you've given her, there's even a notable closeness now, one where she stays by your side and is willing to stick with you as long as you stay here. She's willing to hang about around you, but she still has a will of her own, and that will only be broken after one more feeding.
Okay. I'll ask her if she has any questions, if there's anything that...
Again, she's very straightforward and very simple in a lot of ways. She was born and bred in captivity, and there's very, very, very little she knows outside of her four walls and her outside pen. There is nothing she's curious about, because you really quickly learn, the more you interact with Kianta, she doesn't really realize there's a world beyond here. And when you speak about taking her into your world, it doesn't really register. There's not really an understanding of what you're talking about. And so while she'll say she can't, that she's going to join you or go with you, there is just no cognitive understanding, because all she really has reference of is these four walls and the little outside area. And so for now, as she stays here, there's just not much to engage with her about.
Okay, then before I leave, I want to make sure to tell her that it's going to be a little longer than the last time I saw her. It's going to be some time. I know she doesn't have a concept of time, but I'll just tell her it's longer.
Yep, and she'll kind of snarl, but not in a mean way, but just more in there's like a purr underneath that, and she'll kind of go into she'll circle a few times before she wraps her tail around herself as she lies down for the night again.
And then I'll leave.
And you leave. Okay. Now we can. Other than that, obviously there's that time, but other than that, we'll move to the next night. Everybody, rouse check me for the next evening.
I'm going through my supply of meat very fast.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Cool.
I'm going to need to feed it. Even though I succeed, I'm going to need to feed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I am too.
As soon as I get up, I'll grab some food and I'll head straight over, so I'll be there when people wake up at the bar.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, because the bar's open before Ollie wakes up. There's business that pours in as like the 6 o'clock hour rolls on, or whatever time you end up opening. So yeah, you walk in, there's people around, and you scoot through. Luckily, early on, when the sun is kind of just still going down, it's not as packed as it will be in a few hours, so you don't cause as much discomfort right away as you make your way to the back room. Eventually, Ollie, as you wake up and you kind of get your day going and you walk into the kitchen, Crowley's just sitting there, probably either eating something or drinking something, or maybe doing nothing. What would Crowley be doing?
Crowley would be sitting down with like a beer or something.
Yeah, see, that's what I imagined too. Crowley's sitting down, just kind of drinking a beer, waiting. Within some time, Dakota will show up, followed by Ava, or Ava first, as Dakota's probably going to use the police scanner for a few hours.
A couple hours.
I just want to build that routine every night before we move on. Ava will show up, and then obviously Dakota will show up. But eventually, all four of you will gather in Ollie's bar.
Before anything like really big happens, I wanted just like a second with Grant.
Oh, you've got time. Go ahead.
Okay, then I wanted to let him know. Basically, that I'm not going to be around a whole lot in the near future. So I was going to see
why.
I feel like things are going to get a little busy, at least in the short run. And
gotcha. So we talking like weeks or months?
Maybe just a couple of weeks is my hope. But
I got this place. I'll pull in like Tom and shit and see what I can get done around here.
Yeah, that was part of what I wanted to talk to you about. There's someone I don't get to talk to her a lot. I stay busy, but I know that she's still kind of hard up for work, and I was gonna see about bringing someone on, and hopefully you could show her the ropes.
Oh, not like one of the boys?
They're good. They're good at what they do, but short of having Eva here, we need a different level of eye candy, and I think that she would do exceptionally well.
Are you saying I'm not enough?
Grant, you're more than enough man for me.
Have you seen my shotgun?
Boy, have I.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
he laughs. He continues to chuckle, and he's like, "All right, well, what are you trying to get at? Who the hell are we bringing on? Why was this like such a buildup?"
I think she's gonna need. She's struggling right now, and I think she's gonna need something reliable.
All right, well, we can. If you say she's eye candy, means I can stick him back, and she can take care of Bob while I'm back there.
Yeah. As far as I know, she got some experience handling as well. So definitely.
Are you making the call, or are you telling me I need to make this call?
I'll make the call, but I'd like for you to show her the ropes while she's here.
Yeah, of course. Whatever you need.
Okay. And then I'll try to get a line out to Haley.
And you will. You have a direct line to her. It's not hard to do it. You do have to use a phone at some point, so whether you borrow somebody's or what have you, but getting out to Haley is not hard. She and she when you are you looking to have the conversation, or would you rather just be like, "Hey, come here and we'll talk when you get here"?
Probably that.
Okay. Maya's got the zoomies. Okay. So yeah, she eagerly accepts your invitation. She's like, I can be there. When are you looking to have me? I can be there in a couple nights.
As soon as you can get here.
All right. Well, I got booked for tonight, but I can be there tomorrow.
Yeah, then that's great. Then we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. Oh, I can't wait to see you. And she hangs up the phone in kind of an excited tone.
I'll pass whoever's phone that I took.
Yep. You hand it back.
Hey, thanks for letting me use that. If it's a patron, I'll get them a beer on me.
Yeah. We'll just say it's a patron, and you even dialed *67 to make sure it's private when it's answered on the other side. But eventually, again, now we can kind of like eventually all 4 people of the coterie are in the back.
We're at the back of the bar, yeah?
Yeah, back of the bar. All 4 of you. In the back, in the kitchen, where there's privacy.
Crowley.
So, what happened last night after I left? Did Ava lick some guy or something?
No.
Ava, did you lick a guy?
It was a rather quiet night for me.
Minimal licking, okay.
Yes.
Well, I stood outside the bar, not much happened. However, him and his cronies did go into the bar and then never left, and then the sun came up.
Oh.
So either he went through the sewers, he's got an elaborate escape tunnel like Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Okay.
Or he gets to sleep there.
This bar, is it in the area like we've been scouting about this?
It's near Brighton Park.
It is near Brighton Park.
I know the owner.
It's not technically inside Brighton Park, but it's very close.
Okay.
It's like an adjacent Avon or something. I know the owner. I do actually need to go back and talk to her at some point. But I did see her talking to someone who I think was also talking to a ghost.
Interesting. Also troubling.
Could be Saito for all you know.
Ava did draw a picture of Saito. I know what Saito looks like.
That's true. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, yes, would need to die.
Well, knowing where he's holed up is important. He didn't say anything. He followed him and his goons back there, and they seemed
really certain that Ollie was going to go for that really crappy deal and become some sort of satrapy under the Baron.
Really?
They seemed really certain. Which makes me wonder if that is actually the Baron, because otherwise he's a complete and utter dickhead.
What an asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
This could be used to our advantage. If he really thinks we're going to take the deal, we could totally take the deal and fuck him over. Take the deal.
Nah, it's bad for business. People come at you in future, a new business deal. People are going to be a bit dodge.
Then fuck it. We just don't take his deal and complete what we originally were going to.
I can have a word with the person who owns the bar, see if they actually like him or whether they're being intimidated by him like needles. Because if so, we could totally get, our inside.
You seem pensive.
Pensive, that's exactly the word I was thinking.
weighing the options. There's always value. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why. But everybody's interested in this spot. It's holed up right here at the interstate. The gentrifying pushing everything out. The people here, the kind, they're needy. They'll do just about anything. And we're right next to Chinatown. And we're just far enough out that nobody really gives a shit about it. Now, there's got to be more to this. There's way more to this, and I'm sure there's more at play, and we won't know until the very end when all the cards are on the table.
Yep. So, and our business. I don't want to get involved in their business.
But I don't really find the value in it. There's nothing. It feels, particularly this guy is skeezy. I'm not afraid to work with an anarch. We've done it before. Saito still walks his happy ass into this bar once in a while when he needs a favor.
Not recently, though.
No,
I did hear from him, by the way.
A 3-person head turn.
Ava sheepishly. I have heard a little from Saito, by the way. since I last spoke with him or tried to speak with him. He didn't give too much information on the Baron, or that he's let off to give off the information, but he seems to be pretty successful in a lot of the things that he's done to establish himself as the Baron. He's very ambitious, and we should probably keep that in mind. If he wants something, he's probably going to do whatever he can to get it.
Everybody is that way.
True, but if he has his eyes set on this Ventru territory,
he wants it for a reason. You're right.
Yes.
No, I don't think he wants the territory. He wants the bar. He was saying, what was it? Yeah, let me know what goes on. Let me know what happens here and there. Blah blah blah.
It's more than that, though. You're right, Crowley. He definitely wants the territory. They want to expand. They're trying to get back and spank the Camarilla every way they can.
He wants the information network that your bar provides with the connections that you have into the Camarilla.
Okay, so what do Ollie, you seem to have a bunch of Ventru connections. We do what we originally planned, which is tell them what's going on, that the Baron's interested in moving in on the territory, and see.
Are they going to be surprised? Isn't that what next do?
Maybe not.
No, but this might also motivate them to finish their plans.
Correct.
To extend my area.
Yes.
But
that
it
way
also
we can take it over as a. Yes. Thank you. I'll leave with words.
That's right. It's completely right. And well, we got to make a move before they do. Now I know everybody's been telling us this since we become kindred that we got to move slower. But if everything that I've seen is true, only some of us move slower. The Anarchs, they don't. They're hasty as fuck. They don't wait for anything.
I mean, I was told to move very fast, so...
So I think you're right. I think we got to put a line in with the Ventru.
Yep.
There's more value there. I mean, we're playing another game, but at this point, currying as much favor within this clan, especially since I'm stuck in their territory, I think it's going to be valuable. Plus, I got a few questions, and I think a couple of the older on the council might be able to help me.
Plus, getting favor with the Ventru is pretty good if they're going to be the next prince.
What makes you think they're going to be the next prince?
Well, last I checked, weren't you making a play to put Camille in a certain spot?
We'll see what happens, but...
That was the most evasive yes I've ever heard.
Shrug.
And I imagine even Ava says shrug.
Yeah.
She follows it with an eye roll and a lamel.
By the way, I'm gonna make that happen. And literally any day at this point, I'm expecting there to be that deal. Remember the deal I told you about before the governor's mansion? That should be happening very soon. He said within a month, and by my count, that's like 2 or 3 days at best. So I'm not sure when it is, but we're gonna have to clear this place out and make sure this deal doesn't go south.
Then the Baron just seems like a thorn in our side.
Yeah, I agree.
A thorn we need to pluck out ASAP.
Well, I can go talk to the bar again. I do actually go visit there.
All right, well. What do you want me to do about Eric? He's gonna come back. You know he is.
Speaking of.
Oh, God.
Boss. Hey, boss.
Yeah. Well.
And he looks over to Ava. Remember who's your one and only.
Oh, Grant. And she'll like put a hand on his shoulder, give him a little peck on the cheek.
Well, it's like, it's me. Is it? It's me?
I'll go out and deal with Eric.
So as you walk out, Eric is there just nursing his very first beer, and you step out, and is awe on?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody turns their head again, but Eric stands up, and he's like, Ava, And he like tries to calm down, but he doesn't sit back down and just speed walks to the end of the bar to meet you there. He's like, did you get my, I let your brother know. that I was going to be here tonight? Is that why you're here?
Oh, yes, I did. And I knew I needed to be here tonight to see you.
Oh my God. He's like this a huge sense of relief on his face as you speak those words. Like I knew. Oh God, I knew it. Your brother just said you were like.
Oh,
your brother was just made it sound like you had a lot of guys like me. So I just.
You know how siblings are. They just try to ruin everything. Yes.
Yeah. I knew it.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Ollie, please let me have some time with Eric.
Kind with the puppy.
You go. Let me have some time with, and he's like, "You're a boyfriend."
Yes, and this is clear.
Ava,
you can tell the fake Ava. The fake Ava comes out. Yes,
no, that's fine.
The boyfriend.
It's the biggest smile plastered onto his face.
Did Grant hear that? No.
Is it just Ava and Ollie out front, or did everyone come out front?
Whoever wants to come out front can at this point.
I was about to say, I want to be nearby for this.
Oh, that's fine.
Everybody's listening at the door.
He says boyfriend, I go, boyfriend? Nah, Ava's been talking about you non-stop for the last week. Can't even bloody get her to stop.
Oh, God.
I pat him on the shoulder and I'm going to walk past.
Oh, God, Crowley.
So the question is, do you leave all on where the entire bar is watching this? This is just everybody's watching, not because they're interested, but because they're entranced on you. And there's a few in the crowd you can see kind of mumbling and shifty-eyed, like looking at Eric, giving him kind of like this side eye. A few of the younger males in the audience out there. And we'll definitely treat them and call them the audience for right now, because with awe on, it's very much an audience. But if you decide to use entrancement, which is a rouse check, you can kill the attention of the room and just have Eric's. But it does require a rouse check.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do that because I don't want to.
Things are I was gonna say things are noticeably just very drawn on you right now. So go ahead and rouse me. What are you at for hunger right now before you make this rouse check?
I'm at hunger 2.
Okay.
So rouse, that is. Oh, I clicked it. Hold on. Did I click it? Okay, we might get a couple of delayed rouse checks here. Hunger gain both ways, anyway.
Okay, so there you go. You're gonna gain a hunger, but the presence dissipates. That tenseness in the air slowly kind of disappears, with the exception of Eric, as Eric is your sole focus of your toreador-like charm. And he's just hanging on your every word. As you, the others in the back still watch, though. You actually noticed Dakota, Crowley, and Ollie, obviously, the crowd shift and change and refocus as it was. And so you now know that she's focusing more on one than anything else.
Perhaps you and I can go back to our spot upstairs.
If we need a place, my place is free now. I kicked my girlfriend out.
Jesus.
He's just smiling.
Dakota at the end of the bar probably actually says in silence,
Jesus.
The other night he had a girlfriend. Let's go back.
You saw him lean in and kiss her as she dropped him off for work.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go back to your place. I feel the eyes of others on us right now, and I want it to be just you and me.
And he's like, absolutely. And he pulls out his phone. I just got to get an Uber.
Okay. I'm like worried.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. No. I just okay. Where do you live, by the way? Are you downtown or are you?
Oh no, I'm out in Lawndale.
Oh, I don't even know where that is.
Lawndale's to the west. It's near Cicero. It's technically Venture territory.
Okay, that's fine then. We're good.
So it's like not in a terrible area.
Okay. That's fine. So I'll happily go back to his place.
Yeah, and so you wait about 5 minutes for an Uber to pull up. Don't worry, it's an Uber Black. And you head just inside, and there's bottled water waiting for you.
Crowley definitely
only the
catches
best
your eyes.
for you, obviously, Ava. So he goes out of his way to spend. This is probably like a freaking $100 trip from here to his house.
Jeez.
And into the Uber you go, and you will ride up that way. We'll get to that seen in a bit.
As she goes, Crowley definitely catches her eye, and there's actually like a little frown and a look of disappointment.
Ava, the master of hiding her true emotions, just looks like she's having a great time.
Yep.
And drives, leaving the three of you at the bar.
Well, that was fucking weird.
I mean, not really. This is what Ava does.
This is the first time, really, like Ava's always been a Toreador. She's always had those subtle hints of a Toreador personality and behavior. But this is something different. Like, you've seen this, but you usually see this in regards to other Toreadors. To see Ava truly kind of step into her clan and really, when you can see her using her Toreador gifts for her advantage without care in the world about hurting anybody else, just the manipulation of an entire room in the matter of minutes, that she can have the room ready to fight for her and then turn it off like that and then just have one. That shit's scary. And that's the first time, like, really the Coteries seen Ava do that. I mean, you've seen Bella do that 100 times, but now Ava's doing it. It's nice to see Ava kind of blossom a little bit. What do you want to do for the rest of the night, guys? Because Ava's going to be busy. So this night, if there's anything that the three of you are looking to do, whether you all want to go and do different things or you want to do something together, let me know. Otherwise, we can push to a particular point where you're looking to start doing things in particular. I know there's a deal happening in this bar in the next 2 nights. We have to do that, obviously. Beyond that, though, did Crowley want to go anywhere? Did Dakota want to go anywhere on this night? I imagine Ollie probably sticks to his bar for the nights because he doesn't know when the deal's going to happen. It just knows it's going to be soon. I
want to see the Ventru and I want to feed.
Yep.
And
you can feed your bar. Simple enough. Or you can go out and feed on animals, or you can who or where do you all want to feed if you want to feed?
If I can feed here and get ease of feed, then I will.
Yeah, you can, but yep, you're welcome to. If Dakota also decides to feed, I mean, you're plucking 2 out of your obvious group, and it becomes a little bit more obvious that way. The other way for. But Dakota, I mean, you still can. You can easily just say like, "Hey, I'm pulling these guys back to work for the night, or they can't pay their tab, so I'm making them clean dishes." Like, you can do that too.
Oh,
it's just...
no, I'll I mean, I had somewhere to go.
Okay.
Might as well. Why the hell not? I had one particular place in mind. So I'll eat on the way. I guess I can stop by the rack before I go see the mural.
You can easily stop by the rack, or I mean, again, you could always poach. As long as nobody sees you do it, you're going to be fine. As long as the body doesn't get found either, and people know that there's poaching happening. But the rack is always safe anyway. You're the fucking hound.
Yeah.
You can always go to the rack.
If the rack is safe, then I'll go eat.
Ollie, you may make me your feeding roll. Are you going to use your built-in hunting, or are you going to try and convince somebody to come back with you?
Well, I think I'm just gonna convince someone to come back.
Okay, absolutely. Can I just get a charisma persuasion check from you, Ollie, or manipulation persuasion?
I think it's about the same.
Okay, cool. And Dakota, you're going to use your alley cat feeding, or so go ahead and make me that roll.
Well, I did it.
I'm sure you didn't. It just hasn't popped yet. I've been having, ever since I had the tab open on Roll20, the little loading circle at the tab has just been there the whole time. I haven't been able to
imagine.
Yeah, it's been pretty slow the last few weeks. I wonder why more people are stuck at
I was gonna say, I wonder why.
tabletop RPGs over the internet.
Okay, I'm going to refresh. And
there we go. 6 for Dakota, damn.
6 for Dakota, so you feed. And Ollie, you rolled 2 successes, so you are able to persuade someone to come into the back with you, and it's not even a big thing. So you both can feed. You're at both Hunger 3?
I was at Hunger 2.
You're at Hunger 2, so you just feed
1.
a dot. You kind of give somebody a really bad hangover the next day. Ollie, you're at 3, so you're going to feed 2 dots.
Yep.
So he's going to be unconscious for most of the next morning, but he'll wake up and feel really, really awful, and then leave and whatnot, not really remembering much.
Okay.
Ava, we'll get to you, but you're at 3 right now. So you're going to go down to 1. I'm assuming you're going to feed 2 off of him. And Crowley, do you have any food left that you want to eat tonight to bring yourself?
No, I'm at Hunger 1. I ate before I came out. I just need to go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was going to say, I remember you said you ate. I just don't remember when it was. Okay, cool. So we'll assume you're all brought yourself down to Hunger 1, which is good. You were able to kind of bring yourself into a more manageable situation here. Excuse me. All right, so Dakota, where did you want to go?
So there were two places, and one of them may be more beneficial than another. I would like to go.
Do you want to type them to me, or would you rather speak? I don't know if you want to keep this something more surprisey or not.
Well, okay, yes. One of them is the Russian neighborhood nearby. I'd like to go scout it.
Okay, absolutely.
I need to get our ears on the ground on that.
Okay, you just want to do. So, what are you looking to scout specifically? Because you can get to the neighborhood. It's in Douglas, Bronzeville, Oakland area. That's to the just to the west of the 94, south of Northerly Isle. That's kind of Russian territory. You don't know if it's all of that or just like the northern part of that. Nobody told you because they just said what area it's in.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to head into an area and scout for criminal activity beyond your typical muggings.
No, it's not necessarily criminal activity. I'm looking for, like, I want to scout and see, like, I don't know anything about this neighborhood. Is it
what kind of neighborhood
is it low income? Are we talking like people
super
on the streets?
Income.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like general information about like are we looking at apartments above like commercial buildings?
Actually,
those kind
you
of things.
actually while it's been a while, you never really truly scouted. You actually know this neighborhood slightly.
Oh, okay.
Because it was close to your old havens, your old train station haven, a little further west than where you actually are and a little further south. But it's a similar neighborhood in that it's low income, lots of hot, like 5-story apartment buildings with boarded up and duct tape on them and for broken glass. And a lot of people just in the streets, and it's just not well taken care of. Mm-hmm. Very few parts of this Chicago, the World of Darkness Chicago, are well maintained, and those that are, you can easily trace where the money's coming from now that you're a kindred for the most part. Bent your pockets, Toreador pockets. But yeah, this is a relatively rundown, and honestly, on your way there, you're thinking like, I want to go scout it. It's you start making your way through your old neighborhood for a little bit. You actually have to walk through the old train yards and the old rundown areas. And while you don't go near your area because that place was leveled and being built, construction. Heading over that way, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, because the Russians were a minor issue that were slightly tangentially on the border of your haven, and so that's what you learn. I mean, that's the kind of neighborhood it is. Easy to hide.
Okay, I'm gonna type things now. That was just, we'll do that first round. If that was a quick thing, great. If not, then
super. It's just a walk. There is, if you're walking, you're looking at like an hour and a half walk probably.
Perfect. Yep.
So Ollie sticks where she is. Ava. Now, my question for Ava for this evening is, do you care much about his home? Do you want to know where he lives? Is this a place you are looking to come back to multiple times? Because obviously, the more you lean on him and the more you use him and the more you make him a part of your life, the more danger there is in him being, outing you, especially if you don't ghoul him, and making, his life, risking his life and risking you getting caught if he ever does anything dumb. So I'm more curious, what are you looking to use him more than the obvious leverage you can use him getting into the club and that? Are you trying to look to integrate him more? Because if so, this home is going to be an important place.
That's a great question. I don't think right immediately, no. I mostly just want to use him for the club, and if he has any information he spills on it, like anything about the owner, anything weird going on there, anything like that is what I'm trying to get out of him.
Gotcha. So while he will, you give him an incredible night. We'll put it that way. The night goes by, and while you probably give it a half-assed effort at best, for him, it's the best thing in the world. And while you may ask questions here and there, he does, it's a reminder to you, Ava, that he is new. He doesn't know much. The owner, he didn't actually have an interview with. He actually had an interview with basically the manager of the bouncers, the head bouncer. I don't know if there is a head bouncer, but there is now because I'm not a club goer and I don't know. So there is now, and so that's kind of who he spoke with. He doesn't know much about the owner or who the owner actually is. But he's the if you have any interest in the bouncer, like the head bouncer, his name's Troy.
Okay.
And so you feed down to one in his now girlfriendless house, and there are still remnants and artifacts of the girlfriend every fucking where. Not even all the pictures have been like taken down. It's pretty much everywhere. Ava gives no shits and enjoys her night and feeds as well. Crowley, was there anything you wanted to do on this particular night?
One main thing and one minor thing, considering what happened last night. I want to just go to the bar, but since that's kind of going past Needles' church, I just want to pop in to check with Needles something.
Yeah, absolutely. So you make your way there, and the first stop is that rundown church in the at the outskirts of a park that's left kind of abandoned. And as you make your way in, and your steps echo throughout the kind of just very empty church. I want to call it a hall, but it's just the church. Eventually, Needles, who definitely wasn't there a minute ago, is suddenly sitting in a pew next to you. Hey, good to see you. Wasn't sure who it was.
How you been doing?
So far, so good. Paid my dues, and he's left me alone.
Fair enough. Everything okay here?
I haven't heard from any of you in a while. What's how's things with you?
Oh, well, we had a lovely visit the other day from the Baron, or at least the guy says he was the Baron. Came in, was all like, la 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 la, do become, some sort of puppet for me, blah blah blah. I'll give you land.
Yeah, sounds like him.
Does he look like, and I describe the Baron?
And you do, and he nods the whole way. Yeah, he's kind of gaudy and annoying, huh?
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
Right.
that's him.
I kind of expected more.
He kind of just shrugs. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't really do anything, I mean, more or not. I'm one.
I'm not impugning you for not doing much. I just expected more from the legend of the man who owns so much land.
He actually does chuckle, and it's like a very breathy chuckle. Yeah, legend. Only just because he's just
such a dick.
He just made a name for himself really quick.
Right. How?
He shakes his head. That's a good fucking question, but not my place to poke and prod. I just want to be left alone.
Fair enough. I described the assholes that came in with him?
He thinks. He shakes his head. Maybe his wounds change a lot.
Fair enough. Just wondering if they were kindred or ghouls. Doesn't matter, really. Well,
that's him. He didn't try to kill you or nothing.
No, he came in and tried to make an offer.
I mean, he made me an offer too, but the other option was forcibly lose this place, so
Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. And he, as he kind of there's an awkward silence, and maybe that's where Crowley looks to leave for a minute. And he's like, thanks for checking up on me.
No problem.
If you turn around to even speak, he's not on the pew anymore, and you don't see him anywhere.
Yeah, as I'm about to exit, knowing he's around, probably even being able to vaguely sense him with my Auspex.
Sense unseen, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah, you have
he's not trying to hide from me, so it automatically kind of sees him anyway, but
yeah.
I'm just gonna let it be. I'm not gonna he's got a thing going on. He wants to play invisible, cool. I don't want to make him feel less powerful than he is.
Yeah, you play along. Whether though you do see him sitting on the pew still. He hasn't moved.
I don't want him to feel like he's powerless. He needs something. Absolutely. As I'm leaving, I'm gonna go, by the way, I know this is a personal question, but what exactly did happen with your brother? Because this place is all kinds of fucked up.
He there's again another tense few moments of silence where he does not respond before eventually he does pipe up. Camarilla killed him.
Right.
That's all. I don't know why.
Fair enough. Look, we've got a lot on at the moment, and I've got a few places I've got to be real quick. But once this is all dealt with the Baron, maybe I can come back and look into a few things for you, okay?
That would be appreciated.
Don't worry, friend. You know where to find me.
That I do. Thanks again.
Oh, do you mind if I bring some tools over at some point when I'm free? We do a little bit of sprucing up.
He gives another breathy chuckle. Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
And he goes back. Can you give me a wits insight check as you see him sitting on the pew as you're leaving?
Sure. It'll get there eventually.
I believe. I believe in the heart of the dice.
It seems to roll as long as you refresh it.
Maybe I'll refresh, yeah. Every roll. Refresh, please.
Basically.
I think it would just take its time.
Yeah, I didn't get it with a refresh yet. We'll get there.
No, I think it sends to the server and the server's just backed up a bit, so the server takes time to process, because I think all of them go through the special
Gotta get in line.
Random quantum servers they've got. There we go, 2.
Yeah, 2. You're not sure, but when you turn to leave, it looks like as the conversation ends, it looks like he kind of does the sign of the cross very quickly and might be going into prayer. You're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Just something to take note. Not necessarily bad or good, but definitely weird for Kindred. And off you go. The second place you're going to is the bar?
The bar.
I figured as much. There's Terry's bar. This hole-in-the-wall place that doesn't even have a sign to tell you what the hell this place's name is. Even though I'm sure I gave you a name at some point and then I forgot it.
I have it down as Terry's bar.
That's it. That's all that matters. Do you head just right inside?
I will probably walk past until I see like a homeless person in like a big hoodie, and I'll probably just pay them like $200 for the hoodie.
You just like walk up to just a person with a hoodie, short, and
I like the hoodie. You want $200 for it?
Yes.
There you go.
He just quickly takes his hoodie off and he's like, here you go. And he kind of like just crumples it and shoves it into your thing. We're going into like the summertime, so he doesn't need it. He's into it. So he takes $200 and he just walks away and he's like, thank you. Thank you. God, thank God. Yeah. Thank God. And he just starts walking away.
Put the hoodie on, big like hood, nice cowl over the face.
And into the bar you go.
Go into the bar.
You just grab a seat at the bar itself, a table, seat at the table.
Seat at the bar itself. Yeah.
Okay. You plop down, and over time, Terry does make her way out of the kitchen after maybe like 15 minutes, and she goes back to tending bar, and asks what you'd like to drink, clearly not recognizing you.
Yeah, as she says, like, what do you want to drink? I'll just like raise the hood a little bit so she can see me. Like, hello, been a few days. Sorry about last time.
She sees you and she actually just smiles. What can I get you?
Well, I was thinking of getting you an apology.
Apology accepted.
And I'll have sex on the beach.
And she gives you a raised eyebrow. Sure. And she goes to make the drink.
Actually, no, I'm not feeling in that mood. Give me something solid. Something nice and solid. Strong.
Solid?
Something robust, put it that way.
She looks to you and she's like, I'll make you my specialty. You seem like you might enjoy it. And she goes back and starts making you a mixed drink. Eventually in a small, what looks like a scotch glass and this brown color and a cherry sitting at the bottom, she slides it forward. A Manhattan. Or an old-fashioned, rather. Sorry.
I was going to say Manhattan.
Old-fashioned. No, old-fashioned.
Nice, thank you. What happened last night? Well, not last night, but the other night.
You came in here saying really dumb shit in front of a lot of people who shouldn't be hearing that.
Right. I'll keep my voice down in future. Sorry.
Are you here for that shit again? Is that what you want?
Well, actually, I'm here for an apology. I have a few questions. If we could talk somewhere more private in future, I've learned my lesson.
I don't think my business is your business, though.
No.
Am I wrong?
Your business is whatever business you want it to be. I ain't gonna force you, ain't gonna impinge. I'm not gonna come in here with some goons and force you to give over your money, your life, your domain. I'm not some asshole, I'm not a baron.
There's a moment before she kind of speaks up. When are you coming back?
I will go in back.
You going back, and she goes first, and it's similar to Ollie's. Like, there's a door that leads in the kitchen, but when you head back, the kitchen is nothing like Ollie's bar. It's way smaller, way more cramped, and there's somebody else sitting back here, and when you come back here. A very well-dressed man in a suit with slicked back hair and a 5 o'clock shadow. And he smiles and stands and he says, I've heard about you.
I would like to force Auspex.
And you may make your roll.
3.
You do see behind him a wispy, amorphous thing.
Right. What about you as well?
He reaches his hand forward.
Tentatively put my hand forwards.
Are you obvious in that you're being tentative and nervous?
Considering,
or not necessarily nervous, but you know what I mean.
Considering how fast Crowley can act, probably not.
Okay, so he reaches forward and shakes your hand.
For Crowley, it's tentative. If you didn't know him well enough, it wouldn't look that way.
No, that's totally fine. And so he takes the tentative hand and shakes, and he gives it a solid shake. He goes, you can just consider me the Anarch's representation of our family.
Right. This is a lot less pointed than I thought this conversation was going to go.
I apologize. Did you expect me to try and kill you right here, now? The war's over, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
Family has come together?
Something like that.
Something like that. I've heard you've been around, but very little beyond that.
Well,
I've been eager to meet you.
You could have just popped up to the bar.
I'm sorry, what was that, E?
You could have just popped up to the bar.
Well, I popped to the one that you showed up to.
True. So, why do I deserve such an auspicious welcome from a member of the Anarch Council?
Why is someone like yourself in Chicago?
Because New York isn't really a vacation spot right now.
No, it's not, so I've heard. And he actually chuckles.
Your, ancestor was a little bit unfortunate.
He was. But that's all in the past, isn't it? It's all over. Nothing to worry about between you and myself?
Well, I'd hope so, but
not
I
unless
understand that some kindred happen to have certain vengeance and so on in mind that goes back, half a millennia.
He chuckles. Well, thank goodness that isn't you nor I.
Oh, great. Okay. I feel much more relaxed and at home.
So what drew you to a city of Chicago? I know New York's no happy home, but there's got to be other places. Your accent doesn't even speak of this place.
A bit of an accident. Unfortunate situation.
Well, questions? You had some?
Right. I did have a few, mostly for
And Terry's actually
but...
standing there smiling the whole time. What you can ask to me, you can ask in front of the Anarch Council.
Fair enough. I didn't know how the Anarch Council thing worked. I've never really been to a city that had a proper Anarch presence.
He speaks up. He's much more democratic than the Camarilla.
Democratic in
everybody
you have
has
a vote,
a say.
but we rig the vote system so who we want gets in charge.
Only if you're corrupt, I guess. Not here, not in Chicago.
Oh, well,
perhaps that's why we've lost territory, because we don't play those corrupt games that the Camarilla does.
Well, honestly, the Camarilla seem like a bunch of bastards, so...
That they are.
Anyway, you do have me a bit of a disadvantage. I didn't really expect to be meeting you tonight, but since we're here... What the fuck is going on with Chicago?
That's a hell of a question, ain't it? You have to feel it.
Well, yeah. I wasn't born yesterday.
Know.
I wasn't born yesterday.
No, you weren't. And neither was I. That's a very good question. One that I'm also trying to figure out, though. It seems that Chicago is at least a beacon for the departed. In some fashion. They're drawn here. The veil is thin here. I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
I would call it more a black hole that sucks everything in.
Where that emanates from and where that's coming from, we're still trying to figure out. And
well,
also
it certainly
why
seems to be stronger over towards Chinatown.
That is absolutely fact.
From what I understand, you're the person who actually vaguely knows what's going on.
And what makes you think that?
People have told me things. People have told me that you also didn't want in on their things.
Well, people shouldn't be talking things they don't understand.
Yeah, well, people like doing that. Have you ever seen any politicians?
I don't know what's happening in Chicago, politicians or not. I know that there's a great power here that could be tapped.
Oh, someone tried to tap a great power in our lineage. It didn't go that well.
And why was that?
I'm a little bit too new to know that.
Don't believe all the myths and rumors you hear about our kind. Not everything is true. A lot of stuff out there just to scare you, stop you from doing the things the elders don't want you to do.
Okay.
Food for thought.
Right. This sounds
So
like
your
the
name
food for
is-
thought that Crowley.
Sorry, it's the type of food for thought I interrupted you.
It seems like the type of food for thought where you leave me with food for thought, and then you come back a couple of weeks later and you say, okay, here's something we can potentially work on together. I know we're ex-enemies, but we can work together for the greater good and do this thing. After you leave me with the food for thought, do you want to skip the 2 weeks, bollocks? I've got a very busy schedule.
What makes you think I can even trust you to tell you anything more than you already know in the first place?
Well, I'm in Anak territory right now. You technically outnumber me in this room, and I came here to talk, and I seemingly am talking to you and have already offered several interesting avenues of debate. So I think you can start with you, to be fair.
I'll tell you this, Mr. Crowley. If that's your moniker
Is these
for right
days.
now. I think you should be thanking me.
Right.
Actually, I think you should be thanking me a great deal.
Okay.
See, Chicago is a vortex.
Right.
It's the spirits either can't escape or choose to approach. I'm not sure which one yet.
Okay.
Which invites a lot of lost folk. Grateful.
Sure.
I'm very grateful for it. Don't get me wrong. And you should too. A lot of opportunity for our kind here, and there's only a few of us. Actually, there might just be the 2 of us.
As far as I'm aware.
But you can start by thanking me for not allowing Emily, I think her name is. And he turns his head and then nods. Yeah, that's it. Keeping her nice and safe. For you.
Sorry, I have to make a fury.
Yep. Yes, you do.
God damn it. Is it threshold 2? Provocation?
Yeah, provocation.
Oh, crap. That was the wrong button.
You're fine.
6.
You can feel it. But
Yeah.
you 6 is a lot. So
6 is
you're...
a lot. What probably happens externally is that Crowley's face just instantly goes blank, and if anything, he looks more Kindred-like. He doesn't...
Mhm.
He takes one breath and holds it and then doesn't breathe again. And he normally just reflexively occasionally breathes anyway. It doesn't do anything, but he normally has that rise and fall of his chest. He goes very rigid. His eyes just go steely. He meets the guy's eyes. And lips just go into a line.
The powers of death. They are a gift. Aren't they? So what's happening here, I'm not sure. But me and Emily, we'll figure it out. So don't fuck with the Anarchs. Because if I can just snap my fingers, she might just cease to exist. Understood, Crowley?
Listen, mate.
I'm so glad that our families could come together
No.
under such circumstances.
Right, you've done your talking. Now it's my time to do some talking myself. Okay? Mate.
The floor is yours.
Crowley just looks at him, still trying to retain the beast a little bit.
Carrie is very very intensely watching you as well.
Terry, you can take a step back now.
Just making sure nothing happens here.
If something was going to happen here, you wouldn't be able to stop it, Terry. Listen, mate. I have no intention of getting involved with the Anarchs, the Camarilla, or any of that bollocks. I just want out.
Out of what?
Out of this war, out of this jihad, out of this bollocks. I just want to live a nice life. I want to just settle down and not be involved in some end-of-the-world shenanigans. But it seems I get roped in. I don't want the world to end, but I also really don't give a shit about the Camarilla. I'm not here to sign up, I'm not here to fight some second war, eliminating Anarchs or whatever bollocks they want. But you threaten me in mine, you'll make me pick a choice. You might want to choose your words carefully, mate.
I think you and I see things much more similarly than you initially anticipate. The end of the world isn't what I'm looking for either. That would be horror for our futures. And the Camarilla is a piece of shit. I hate him. So why don't we try and figure out what the hell's going on? I'm only one of our family. But now that there's two, we might be able to crack into this a little bit more. Pool our resources. The Abyss offers plenty of power. In order to figure out what the hell's happening, you have to touch it directly. What do you say?
Give me my daughter back.
Think on it. He stands. Have a good night, Mr. Crowley. Chicago's full of surprises. And he leaves.
What's he carrying and wearing again?
What's what?
What's he carrying and wearing again?
All he looks like he's wearing is a very fine suit. You don't see any weapons or anything on him.
Cool. As he stands to go out, I'd like in one quick action just to draw my sword and cut his tie off.
Okay. Do you want to do your super?
Drawn.
Would you like to do your super high level, like one action?
Yeah.
Like, okay. You may make me your roll. You gotta just do your rouse check for me.
I click the button.
Oh yeah, no, I believe you. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, this sword has never been drawn before. It's the one with the like hilt that looks kind of like a set of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I gain hunger.
You gain a hunger, but feel free. Describe it, EE. What does it look like when this happens?
There's just a moment. Like, if this was a film, it would be like 1 or 2 frames at best. And suddenly, Crowley is standing there, sword out, off to one side, tie flops to the ground, and he just looks at me and says, "On my daughter. And I'll have no reason not to next time, you fucker."
I would never hurt a cousin's own blood. And he looks down at the tie and looks disappointed, leaves it on the ground, and just walks out. On that scene, we will fade and take our break. Because I think that's a great scene to take a break on.
Wow.
We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in 8 minutes. Maybe 10. I need to
told you.
find alcohol.
Things take time. You've been here for a few months now.
But I'm new here.
Not anymore.
Oh, man. Enjoy some fan art. Hello and welcome back to Roll For It. We're playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, Silence of Shadows. And breathe. Okay, Mathis, you have it.
But do I really? As the scene shifts afterward and we sort of fade away from that, we then fade into an establishing shot of Oliver's bar at an upward angle from like the second story. And we see Crowley very quickly darting down the alleyway. The camera then kind of fades in and blinks into the bar itself, where Crowley then gets into the back room. Ollie's the only one there right now. And Ollie, the kitchen door swings open very quickly and in steps Crowley. And there is immediately something noticeable just about how he's carrying himself.
Yeah, you'll definitely notice that he's carrying himself a little bit more like... There's a little bend in his legs. He's got one hip placed slightly back. Ollie would definitely recognize it as a slight variant on a fighting stance.
Yeah, definitely. One trained fighter to another. He absolutely looks like he's in like a half ready to fight stance.
Okay, I don't recall doing anything wrong, but...
Do we see Ollie slowly taking off his apron and like getting ready? Like, okay, let's do this.
A little surprised, but yeah, he's confused. Why don't you tell me what I did wrong before you cut me?
No, I really, really miss.
Go on.
Can't get drunk.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Not entirely true.
I can't.
I mean, you could kill somebody who's drunk and then imbibe or just go for the liver.
I was about to say their liver. Yeah, just eat their liver while
it's like,
full.
yeah, you had 1 unit of body. That's good job.
No,
go
I know.
Kill 5
I'm
more
not
people.
saying it's easy. I'm just joking. I'm making a stab. Continue.
Can't take the edge off.
I mean, I know a couple of people that could probably help with that. Unless you just want to talk, that's a good place to start.
Yeah. Fine. Fucking Giovanni is my daughter.
All right. Well, that's... I thought you came here alone.
I did.
Okay. Well, why don't you roll it back for me? I'll get a stool. And I'll pop a squat, sit down. So let's start from the beginning. What happened?
I think Crowley at this point, just like as Ollie's going to pick up a stool, Crowley just kicks over something nearby, like a stool or a chair or something. There's not a lot of force in it, but he just kicks it over.
No, there's like an empty like milk crate from things that are brought in and out of the kitchen, out of the little small refrigerator he has, and you kick over like a little stack of 2 of them, and you can sit on one.
So went to the bloody bar. Turns out Terry's the lass who owns the bar, Kindred. Works for, or is allied with this Giovanni arsehole. Had a lovely chat. Okay. Then he says, oh yeah, also you work for me and do all the shit I say and don't piss me off, don't work against the Annex or I'll kill your daughter.
Okay, so how can we make that not happen?
We find her.
Okay, and I'm assuming you have some idea on how to do that.
No. Because she's obviously not the fucking London.
Well, is she... Okay, is she alive?
I hope so.
Well, I mean, I know that you do things with spooky ghosts and shit, so
as far as I know, she's still alive. If she isn't, then I'm going to be breaching some Masquerade rules.
I think that's kind of what he wants you to do. Right? Like, that's this part of the play. They want you to act a fool, step out of line. Wait a minute, is this you? You followed the Baron back to that bar, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was there too.
Talking to Terry the other night, yeah.
What are the odds that they're working together?
Well, he's the Giovanni on the Anarch Council. Probably not working together. He was probably just there because I was there the other night.
Okay. So, we can go about this a few ways. We can start meandering around this like people. And I can find some contacts. I got some people that I can put a few lines in, especially if you know anything about him. Or we can go about this the kindred way, which is sneakier. It's a little dirty. And it means that we're going to have to call in some favors and do some favors too. Not so good about that.
Any and all of the above.
Okay. Well, with people, it's going to take money. It's going to take a lot of money. Especially if he's got any kind of notoriety.
Done.
With kindred, I mean, you know how it is. And I don't like it either, but it's favors. So I
have 27 million just sitting in a van that's not doing anything.
Yeah. Right. We need to move that. If he knows anything about you at all. Let's just say hypothetically he knows where your daughter is. 10-1 says he knows where your money is.
Well, it's not all in the van now. I moved it.
Good. Okay, well, I promise this is not in self-interest, but I got a place that you can hide the rest of it that nobody else is going to find. They'd have to get through me and Grant as well, and that's going to be real fucking hard.
Maybe.
Your call regardless.
I'm not worried about the money right now. I'm more worried about my daughter.
All right, well, I'll put a message in, and I'll see whom I can find. I'll try to get a line out to the Primogen. Snitch is good people, even if he is somehow wrapped up in all of this nonsense in Chicago. He still is for the Nas. And I do good by him, he does good by me. But
don't send it too far up the chain, otherwise she's a mortal. She's a normal human. I want to just have a normal life. Otherwise, they'll find her, they'll pick her up and go, oh, she's a Masquerade breach.
Snitch. If he doesn't know it, he can find it out. He's more reliable than any library. We don't have to go that far, but either way, we're going to be barking up someone's driveway looking for favors, and they're going to be asking.
Not to interject either, but if for Crowley's sake, his concern is if Snitch is trustworthy, I mean, Ollie knows he literally rescued Zach's mom from them by, granted it was a ghouling that he did it, but she would have been killed otherwise. And he kind of stepped out to ensure that didn't happen, though it was still kind of a way to hold it over your head and control you a little bit. You know, he's done what you might consider right in the past.
Yeah, he's just had to blur the lines.
Yes.
Do what he's got to do. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Look, I stepped away from my family to keep them away from this bullshit. Don't want to drag them back in by turning one of my daughters into some fucking mind-bending slave.
Overall, it's your call. I just know that Snitch has helped with family in the past. And if your daughter's wrapped up in it in any way, and she now is, and she's human, it's going to be more to his advantage than not. So you have multiple daughters?
Yeah.
You know where they're all at?
No. Well, I thought they were still in London with their mum. Well, living their own lives now. The older one's engaged.
I think it's time you move them. Use some of this fancy gold you got, and you need to move them. It's not easy. It's not fun. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
I've left them be for 20-something years.
Pest finds a way to creep back up on you. I'll get the line out to Snitch. I think it can help. Is that cool?
Yeah.
We cool on that? All right. I'll get the line out.
And as the conversation seems to roll towards its conclusion, the back door opens and Grant, not back door, the kitchen door opens and Grant peeks his head in. Boss, someone says, some guy here saying, we got to close the bar now in an hour. You got business that needs to get taken care of.
Oh, fuck. And what's he look like?
He describes and just kind of the guy that you're expecting the deal to go over. I'm blanking on the name here, but that is who he describes.
Yeah, I keep not getting a name, either not getting a name or he's not telling me. But the one thing that I know is that I just keep mentally referring to him as the Candyman.
Oh yeah, he's got Starbursts.
Okay, and then I ask him, does he have candy?
Yeah, he's eating a bag of Starbursts. He looks back. He's laughing at me now. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, yeah. All right, well,
do you want me gone?
No. In fact, if he said, hold on, I'm gonna peek out. This is happening now.
You're asking him directly?
Yeah, I'm gonna peek my head.
Hey,
back.
yeah, well, time's up, baby.
I was looking for any kind of warning so I could make sure that
I'll give you an hour. Hour. You got an hour.
All right, then fine. All right.
He goes back to watching the TV.
I tell Grant we've got to clear the place out. It's got to be clear for likely the rest of the night. I look to Crowley. We should really find the ladies.
No, chat. This is not the Shreknik guy.
Ava said she was going to be busy. Fucking with some guy's head. I don't know where to go.
Just a reminder for everybody. This is payment for getting info and scouting and all that stuff for the job. That's why Malik was so quick.
Yeah.
Now payments coming due.
And it's due. The due is using the bar as a place
using the bar
to move.
as a neutral ground to facilitate a deal between two criminals, basically.
So I see if I can get Crowley to, if it's feasible, to bolt over to Dakota.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, Crowley will be able to make that run rather quickly, and getting back with Dakota is not going to take too long.
Okay.
If it can happen in under an hour, it can happen. It's tight. I'll have to have a roll made. Are you driving, Crowley? Actually, are you just going to drive?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're fine. You can definitely do that within an hour.
I'll drive over and just walk up to the boat and just bang, bang, bang.
So yeah, Crowley leaves. Dakota, you're actually listening to your radio. You're doing a typical radio thing where you're scanning the frequencies, typical crimes, but nothing that you're listening for. And all of a sudden, maybe even startles you a little bit, just the echo of the.
I was supposed to say, I'm sure the dogs probably
They snap up right up, and they won the most aggressive of the two. Just starts clambering up the stairs.
I'll come out. I turn the radio off, put it away.
Crowley, you hear the dog coming up. Barking at you the whole time.
I come out and I'm like, what?
And you look over the edge and there's Crowley looking up.
Ollie's got a thing at his bar. Some sort of deal going down. He wants us all there.
I look at the dogs and go, want to go for a ride? Come on.
And they just jump off they both leap off the boat. Again, they don't take the stairs. They make that huge fucking leap. Carly, maybe for the first time you see the super-ish nature of these dogs as the musculature of them as they leap off the boat and kind of just aerodynamically through the air. They land with just grace and just off to a run. The other one, the less aggressive one, not as aerodynamic. He kind of runs and jumps and he just lays his paws out like he just loves the air on his belly. But he lands and he actually does a roll, and you actually do see it snap a bone as it kind of collides with the ground, but it doesn't whimper. It gets up and you just see the snapping a limb back into place, and then it goes and catches back up with his brother.
That's pretty fucking disturbing.
I look at you and I go, is Ollie in trouble?
No.
Okay.
He's just got business.
What
Into the van you go? Do you go pick up?
Yeah, I'm like, I pick up pace at that point.
Some guy who
you guys go pick up Ava as well?
Starburst.
Or are you just going with that one?
Did you go home last night, Ava?
Everyone to his house.
We don't know. You were with.
Yeah,
I'm
everyone to his house.
the
We know who it is.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? What?
The guy, Eric.
Yeah, you're
we don't
there.
know where she is.
Oh yeah, you don't know where. Yeah, that's right. You don't know where
We have
he
no
is.
idea where Eric's house is.
Well, no, you wouldn't remember, Ava. You wouldn't have spent the day there.
No,
you
I
would have
wouldn't
drank him because it's not
and left.
There's nowhere for you to go during the day, and
That's
him
true.
waking up to a corpse in his bed.
But isn't this the same night?
Or a
like,
pile of dust.
This is the same night.
Yeah.
This is the same night. Like, she just left with Eric. I went to the bar and came back and went to get Dakota.
Oh, you are correct. I am thinking this is the next night. Ava's getting boned down. That's fine. Ava will return to the bar this is actually towards the end of the night. So she would have finished up her feeding and boning. Question, did you linger and kiss him again?
Do I
don't know if you need to actually off the top of my head, but
off the top of my head, I don't know. You just need to top it up. Like, you don't need to roll again.
Do I need to? I would then. Yes, I would continue.
Ava's also dealing with business.
Totally fine.
Yep.
And so after you take care of what you need to do and you use him as best you need, you will make your way over and back to the bar. We'll say you arrive shortly after Crowley returns with Dakota. So if there's anything the three of you want to talk about, you have the chance, but then Ava will arrive within 5 minutes of that, maybe 10. But if you want to just wait for Ava, you can just wait for Ava. Ava, when you arrive, then the bar is dead quiet. When you open the door and you walk in, there's only like 2 or 3 lingering guests, and they're about on their way out and sitting at a nearby table watching the baseball game on right now, and popping Starburst into his mouth is that familiar face. You've all seen him and met him. So. And you head in the back and maybe even ignoring him. Now the entire coterie sits back there.
So that that favor is come calling. I expected a little more time, but he's given me an hour. So now it's like not much more time.
Yeah. All right.
A few things I need to know. Are the 4 of you going to really get involved in the transaction?
I was about to say,
Ava,
in character, what is meant to be going down?
I think that we just need to make sure that nothing goes past words. If anyone even seems remotely like they're going to draw anything or try anything funny, we need to prohibit that. They don't really know what we are, what we're capable of. We need to have and hold some sort of influence here. And the only thing I'm going to tell them is that they respect the rules of this bar. And if they can't, they'll walk out of here, but with a few broken limbs. Courtesy of being thrown out on their ass.
Okay.
No one is to die. This is a big favor. This has a lot to do with finding the information on Red Bull. And there was a lot of favor that I owed with the governor's shit. So, it's
hey, Ollie, you don't have to explain. We can stay out of their business and basically make sure this is a safe place. I think.
Smooth sailing.
I think, Crowley, you should scout the building from the exterior to make sure people don't try to enter. Ava, you can make sure that the general public stays away. And Ollie and I can watch inside. If shit goes down, Crowley can pop in the back door and render silent support.
I'll intercept anyone who tries to fuck up from the outside. Maybe you should have Ava on the inside so she can keep people.
Are we talking,
keep the conversation
kind here?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind. But all of the other kind are leaving. As far as I know, they're getting the fuck out.
What's your hunger at, Crowley?
3 now.
Okay.
I'm going through so much meat today. I'm just gonna, as this is going on, Crowley just walks out the door and is gonna try and stealth outside.
Go ahead.
He's an action taker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grant,
Yeah. You only notice because you realize he's not standing around anymore, and you just catch him leaving just as he's gonna go and disappear around a corner.
Okay. But Grant is still here, right?
Yes, Grant is here.
Okay.
He's been listening. He doesn't really, when you start talking business like this, he doesn't really speak up.
This is sort of a shotgun at the ready kind of moment.
Oh, I got it.
Guns speak louder than muscles in this situation, even though I can, obviously.
Can I ask what kind means?
Yeah. Kind is people.
Grant.
Oh, am I kind?
Technically,
Yeah.
Grant,
Yes.
you are a kind, but you would be referred to as a ghoul.
God, I hate that.
You'll
I
get
hate
used
the
to
word
it.
too.
We all hated it at first.
So, okay, that answers that question. But it kind of, am I like safer? Like if they start guns blazing, am I as vulnerable as they are?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
What if
I die? At least I did it defending the ones I love, right? And he looks to all three of you and
nobody's dying, Grant.
no, sorry, I was just,
Grant, that's so sweet.
He looks he immediately looks
I say
over
that
at Ava.
before Ollie gets to say it.
Yeah, and he just smiles at you.
Dakota does not find it adorable whatsoever. She's like, no, practically nobody is dying this evening. And we're just here to watch. And I think for the sake of the trade, the less eyes we have on the actual business, the better. Grant could take the back with the gun in case anybody tries to come through the back door if they get past Crowley.
So,
That's safe.
do you want me to get the front then? Stay outside? Or take Crowley's idea and stay in?
I think she should stay at the door.
I agree.
At the door, okay.
Yeah.
That way, if, other people walk up, you can gingerly coax them to a different location.
Yep.
Okay. That's the setup.
Right. Yeah. I'll do that.
You all disperse. That means Ava will head out into her place, leaving Dakota and Ollie in the back alone for a little bit here. If there's anything,
I'll put a dog on each door as well.
Absolutely, they will. And they each listen. Head right over. If you're both good, we can just move on.
Yeah, not the time.
Yep,
not the
totally
time
fine.
to say what I need to say. So we're gonna just.
We even see Dakota think about it. It's not like Ollie notices. It's not all. It's just like the camera just catches like a weird moment of introspective thought from Dakota, brushes it off, and
I put my gloves on. We're going,
As you head out there to oversee the deal, Starburst Man is still popping his Starburst, so the bag is notably basically only a few left. You can see how light it is, and you can hear him scraping around at the bottom. And he sees you walking. It's like, all right, about time. They should be here any minute. Should be pretty straightforward. Got some people buying some weapons and some cash being exchanged. Everything goes smooth. I don't expect this to go longer than 10 or 15 minutes, and they'll be out their way. One person more armed, one person a little more rich.
Smooth, and that's what
Ideally.
we want.
I don't expect them to be going at each other's throat, at least not right now. So,
okay, well, trust your judgment.
And so he, there's only a few minutes of maybe awkward silence before the first group walks in through the back door and through the kitchen. Facilitated by those who are around who know where to send them. Again, you've got a really good setup automatically here with guards at the right doors. And the first group that walks in are 3 triads. Nobody that you recognize, and certainly not Red Pole, so don't worry. But they walk in through the kitchen and out through the front. One of the 3 of them in the back is just carrying a black suitcase. A little while later, through the back door as well, the next group walk in. They are not the Russians, in case anybody was curious if that was going to happen. But they're also relatively well dressed. They've got the dress white shirt, but no jacket and dress pants. And they all walk in. Each one of them is carrying a steel suitcase.
I'm curious, do I recognize them at all?
No, you do not. You've never seen them operating in the local area. You're not even entirely sure who they are. Okay. You may actually, you know what? Give me, please. Only Ollie's going to get a roll on this. Give me an intelligence streetwise with a specialty die of 1.
Okay. That's not bad. Better than most of my other rolls. 3.
You don't recognize them on their face. And in fact, you don't recognize them well because they're not a big presence here any longer in Chicago. But they kind of dress like the mafia.
Okay.
And they both file in. They're all over by the, eventually they're all ushered over by the table, the private table, but the curtain isn't drawn. There's nobody here in here. And they kind of take it's the biggest of the tables, and they just grab it and they just start dragging it out from the booth to have a bigger table to use. Sure. There's not really a question of permission. They just go over and do it. The Starburst guy kind of oversees it, and it's dragged out and moved. Other tables are moved out of the way. Then without words, one of the triads just drops the suitcase very heavily and plops it onto the front. He flips open the front after putting in a code for the lock, and as it opens up, it's just laden with cash. $100 bills and $500 bills just everywhere. The others look over and kind of just shove it forward in a very stereotypical fashion. You see what you believe to be one of the head of the mafia here, just kind of look at it, count it up, and then nod and close it and flip it shut and drag it off. He puts it behind them while the other three lift theirs each, slamming them on the table. They each undo a lock with a key, a very small one, and then they undo a code, and then they flip open each one. And these are loaded with weapons. Pistols, disassembled assault rifles, a disassembled shotgun, a few hand grenades you actually see in there, and more. They all look it over, and you then look up, and the one in front actually speaks to the one on his side in a quieted voice before he then speaks in English. This isn't everything we asked for. One of the mafia just steps forward. This is everything we could get. We told you we'd do the best we could. This is the best we could. It's almost everything. The triad guy then responds again, whispering to one before he speaks again forward. Then we're taking our money back, thinking you could take your weapons. The mafia immediately, you can tell, is beginning to heat up a little bit here. Listen, it may not be everything, but it's fucking 90%. You want to give us back 10% of your money? Then fine, we'll do that. We understand it's a deal. It's a deal. The triad shake their head. All or nothing. You knew that from beginning. And they shut the cases and begin to shove it back. The mafia immediately looks to push the cases forward, and there's a moment where you can feel there could be a spark here. Does anyone act, or do you watch to let it play out?
At first, I look to the kid. What's the kid doing?
He's watching with interested gaze, an interested nonchalance.
I make eyes at Ollie.
Word of the day, everybody. You what?
I look to Ollie. I imagine I'm sitting at the bar, like peeling a label. I'm just trying to not be here, but I'm here.
All of you, the people who are in here have been cleared, obviously, to be in here, so they're not.
And I make a hard look at Ollie.
You see, do you see Dakota kind of break focus and look over? Ollie, what do you do?
I step to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I see, hopefully I can imagine that the kid is looking at me.
Yeah, he's watching.
And I look to, you said there are 3 each, so 6 men.
3 each, yep.
And as I step forward, I imagine that there's some presence of myself kind of stepping to the table.
You're 6'4" and built like a truck. So you step forward right as, like you said, that kind of response is like all or nothing, and kind of cut the suitcase, and you see there's a moment there, but you take a step forward, and your presence is enough to buy a couple seconds where their attention is suddenly caught off guard and now turned to you for a brief moment, and you have an opportunity to step in and say something.
I step up and finger on the table, like pointing at just and I point up to the rules. We abide by the basics. Do not.
The kid speaks up. I told him. They both look.
This is neutral ground. If you cannot behave within the business that you represent, find someone who can.
Charisma intimidation, please.
Okay.
You are unnaturally superior to them in every way.
It's gonna roll sometime.
One day.
It's gonna roll some good dice.
Yeah. It's like the anticipation.
I know, right?
This is like that moment in IRL where you're looking for the right die. And you're like,
it's that moment from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like, it's the 3-way stare off, whereas everyone's going.
Yeah. I don't want to have to kill these guys with a bottle.
I don't see anything.
Wait, no, that's not it.
Nope. Any minute.
Let me refresh. Let me see.
Yeah, you might want to refresh, Bub, since you sent it. See that?
Okay, I will.
That's what worked for me earlier.
If it goes any longer, I will just ST this and move forward because I'm not going to kill the show.
You can just send another one
here.
and see if that'll help. It's possible that it lost one in translation.
Sure. So,
Never heard.
intimidation, charisma.
Because I don't see you trying to manipulate them. You're just trying to remind them.
Try it again.
Gingerly. Hey!
Hey! I got both of
two.
them. So we'll take 2. Either way, success is success. And with we step forward, you very heavily put those words down. And initially, there's the look of like, what are you gonna do about it? From both sides, there's there's just an intimidating look. But as the words finish spilling out of your mouth, as you point to the sign and remind them that this is neutral ground with a bit of weight to your words. After the initial look, the knee-jerk reaction of the initial look, the reminder, whether in the back of their mind or just something that just speaks to the animalistic nature of being mortal, tells them that they're in the presence of something much more than them. And while there's not a cognizant thought that you are something greater, the animal brain, the lizard brain inside them reminds them that they can still be prey. And they straighten up and they look back and while they try to maintain their composure, that spark has been at least snuffed and is nothing more than smoldering smoke as they turn to each other. We'll buy what you have, but we'll only give you 75%. There's some discussion with the mafia and they talk to each other. I need to make a couple rolls here. With Ollie there, yeah. Versus a... There's not much discussion between the mafia before it's accepted. The weapons are put back on the table. 75% of what was initially offered is taken back by the triads. The deal is quickly finished off, and they're shuffled out their respective ways. Starburst guy lingers for a while, even helps put the table back where it came from. Told you it'd be nice and easy.
Could have got bad there.
Well, good thing we did it here, where the rules are the rules. And he finishes pushing the table back. It's good working with you. Need anything else? Well, I'll come looking for you.
Is there another way that I can get a hold of you?
Tell you what. I'll tell you my name.
Good way to start.
I have a feeling you can find me one way or another. You can call me. Oh, shit. Do I have the Bentham list?
You should do.
I should, but it's been a while. And I haven't.
Let me bring it up on my end.
I was going to make up one, but then I was
Wait,
like,
no,
oh,
let me see. Tyran. Ragnar.
You can call me Magnar.
Magnar.
It ain't my real name, all right?
Very Icelandic of you, but all right.
I like it.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Magnar.
Vikings are cool.
Yeah, you're right.
That's Iceland, right? They sound like it. Just sounds like a Viking name, you know. And I can never really grow those big old beards, so.
So Mag, how am I going to get a hold of you?
If I need something, I'll come knocking. But if you need me,
that's what matters.
I'll also give you my number. And he writes down his phone number.
Okay.
Ava and Ollie getting phone numbers today. The twins are doing well.
This guy's a kind too. I mean, he's human.
He's human. He has no, as far as you know, he has no idea you're all kindred.
Great.
He operates within just.
Cool. This is Dakota's first time meeting him, so I'm trying to read this situation. I guess you could say.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You're kind of watching it go down and trying to get your assumptions.
All right, Mag. It's been a pleasure.
It has. Glad we could see eye to eye and help each other out in our times of need.
Appreciate it. If I need you, when you need me, we know how to get hold of each other.
He just nods and he realizes his bag is empty and looks for the nearest garbage and then hands it to you. Would you mind?
I got it.
Thanks. See you later. And he makes his way out the door.
Okay. I looked at Dakota. Easy. A little stressful, but easy.
Eventually, Crowley and Ava, you all also file in. Like, you're not stuck outside waiting.
Well, that seemed to go well and relatively quick.
Shame.
It was quick.
And a favor done. A favor owed, favor done. Good work.
Yeah. Sorry to call on such short notice, but I'm really glad that
doing anything.
each of you showed up. It was, well, convenient, and I am appreciative.
Well, you got the information that we needed, so
That's true. That's true.
least we could do.
Yeah. Well, Crowley has never been a better time. Would you like to share? Or
The door
something
swings
like
open.
you-
Hey, boss, you need anything?
You need anything? Because I'm good.
I'm going to head home.
Yeah.
Hi,
Now take care of
Gran.
yourself.
Adios. Have a good one.
Crowley.
If you don't want to, if it's too personal, I get it.
No, just how this country sometimes treats mortals.
You mean like family? Because if they're family, we treat them as such.
That Giovanni asshole is my daughter.
Wait, what Giovanni asshole?
Who?
The only one in the city, the one on the Anna Council.
Oh, right.
Wait, you have a daughter? And
I'm gonna head to
I've
the
got
back when he
two.
catches them up. I'm gonna get some meat.
You have a daughter. Is she in Chicago?
I've got two daughters, and they should be in London.
okay. Well, they're obviously not.
One of them.
How did he get her?
I don't know.
Okay.
So you didn't know that?
Does she
Last
know
I heard,
that
they
you're
were
a
in London.
kindred?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
When I was turned, I left them. Instead of leaving them to be murdered by the Camarilla very slowly.
How can we help you, Crowley?
Need to find her, get her away from the Giovanni, and then I'm going to even the score.
Yes, but how do we go in and just... does she know... Is she being held captive? Does she know she's in danger?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we can find some info on her. If she's here in the city, there's got to be some...
This bar... Where is it?
Terry's bar. It's down near the Baron's area.
It's the same bar?
The Anarch place?
Yeah, but in fairness, it's probably unrelated. I did go in there a few days ago and ask about the Giovanni guy.
Great! Crowley,
Well,
why, pray tell, might a Giovanni want to gain some leverage on you?
well, it could be possibly the fact we murdered the antediluvian Methuselah sandwich, whatever the bollocks you want to call it. It could be that I'm the only other Hecata in Chicago. It could be that I can tell that he's breaking all the prince's prohibitions every single step. Now he's got a fucking ghost following him around. Or it could be due to the fact that he just really, really hates the look of my fashion sense.
Come back. I vote that it's because you killed his ghoul.
That would be the other one, yeah. It's probably all the above.
Oh,
And you probably noticed him
Right.
carrying like two like older prime ribs and throwing it to both of your dogs.
As you bring up the prime ribs, you hear Crowley's stomach gurgling a little bit.
you're supposed to ask him. I look at Ollie and I'm like, you're supposed to ask him to sit first.
They
That's
did
how you
good.
make him fat.
They sat by the doors. They did good.
He's right. She knows it. It's fine. So,
I mean, I'm guessing that we can't just go in there and...
I don't know where he has my daughter. I don't even know if he's just keeping tabs on her or whether he's got her locked up in a basement.
Okay. So he knows your face. Does he know our face?
Probably. He's on the Anarch Council, and how long have you been here? Well, your entire kindred lives.
And he's worked with Saito very closely.
So here's a question. You know, in a hostage type situation, usually the person holding someone hostage wants something.
Yeah, he wants me to make sure that we don't fuck with the Anarchs at all. He also wants to make sure that I do everything he says, dance his little tune, etc., etc.
So he's using...
I'm sure he'll come back in a few days or a few weeks and have additional, very annoying conditions he wants me to do.
Yes, of course. This is how the Anarchs operate. Not very different from the people they try to stray from.
So he wants us to leave them alone.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, we technically haven't bothered the Anarchs yet.
Weren't we technically planning to take over part of Anarch territory and have it declared as a Camarilla territory?
We haven't made action yet, is what I'm saying.
Sure, but I'm sure the prince has got it noted down in some ledger or something, right?
Probably. That's business I don't intend to. I don't know. I'm just saying that I think if we move against him to get your daughter out, we have a lot of tracks to cover. We don't even know where she is, like you said, or how he's keeping her. He could be lying to you.
Yeah, but he knows her name. It's good enough.
Okay, so if he can find her name, so can we. Have you tracked her down if she's in the city?
No, she's not even meant to be at this side of the bloody ocean.
Okay, well, let's start by trying to find her. If she is out there, or then in a written format, a fucking address, this helps us, Crowley. Until we know where she is, we can't do anything.
Crowley, do you have anything of your daughter's on you?
Do you?
Crowley pulls out a picture, quite old, crumpled. It has a woman about 40 and a girl about 8, another girl about 11 in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is...
The younger one. Emily.
You have 2 daughters.
Yes.
I'm assuming. And is this their mother?
Yes.
I forgot. Yeah, well, good idea.
We're learning, Mathis.
You are.
We are amazing. Learning things.
I didn't have to step in and be like, you can do this.
Yeah, which he has done before, which is always helpful.
It's a rouse check because you're forcing it.
Okay, I'm going to try the Spirit's Touch, which is where I touch an inanimate object.
Her name is Emily. Emily Croft.
Okay, I'm going to rouse check.
I'm sorry, clicking on your character sheet. Go ahead.
Oh, shit. I hit it twice.
Oh, the first one's the only one we need, so your hunger does not go up.
Okay. All right.
So you're not doing premonition.
Premonition.
You're doing sense Spirit's Touch?
Yes.
Okay, the vampire can see sense emotional residue left by those who have handled the object.
Actually,
or visited location in the past. That's not going to really help you with the photograph. You want premonition.
Maybe I should do premonition.
The problem is premonition, and it's always vague.
It's always vague.
What are you going in exactly? Like, what kind of premonition are you trying to kick up here?
If she's in the city, if she had any dealings with the Anarchs, if like
travel.
Yeah. If because he says she's in London. If recently.
No, that's fine. Let's get that out there. Premonition is what we want. So go ahead and enroll premonition.
Yeah. So that is, I think that's
because it's aroused. It's a resolve aspects.
Okay, so resolve aspects. Okay. 3 successes.
So, you grab a seat. I'm assuming you look to sit somewhere to kind of force this, and you do sit down, cross your legs, and just kind of focus on the picture for a moment.
You can feel the blood thickening and coursing through your veins, and eventually what you see before you gets murky and blurry as your eyes get covered in black, and you disappear, at least consciously. You disappear. The question of where she is what directs this particular premonition. At first, you see familiar sights, not because you've been there, but because you've seen them in pictures. You see pictures of London, or at least images of such. The person you're following is a blurred face, and the silhouette shakes and wobbles like it's out of focus, almost like it's glitching in a game. You can't really keep a solid track on it. You don't see details. Remember, the only sight you have is a picture that is of her of 8 years old. You follow for a while before you hear a large cracking noise, almost like thunder, lightning, and everything goes black. You're left in a dead, silent void before around you, surrounding you, is a familiar premonition. The road that falls beneath your feet, the pulsing of the road beneath you as buildings erect on both sides, silently. An eclipsed sun in the background, giving red light strewn across the roads and buildings, and in the center, a hole. You're in what you believe to be Chicago. Before, in a blink, and it all dissipates into smoke, and you are returned to the kitchen. What you make of that vague vision is only for Ava to interpret.
I think she might be here in Chicago.
That's great.
She was in London, but the vision brought me to a familiar sight that I've seen in previous visions. Chicago.
Of course. Of course.
Where the fuck is she in Chicago?
I don't know. I wish I could do more to track her down, but I don't know where she is.
You know what? When I heard that the whole London falling thing had happened, I was kind of happy. Meant it was less likely for my family to be in danger.
Well, like I said, I can still get the line out. And I already know that he'll do it. Or at least he'll try.
Thank you.
It's going to come at some kind of cost. I just don't know what it's going to cost.
Any cost.
And when it comes to actually getting into Chicago, well, my new friend Magna is definitely going to be looking for work. At least something that pays well enough. And as you can tell, he deals in shady business. So, I'll get a line out to snitch. It won't take me long.
You hear at the front door.
Okay, move out to the door.
You see Eric.
Oh my god.
We're closed.
But the dogs are there. The dogs are definitely.
Oh yeah, you can hear them barking, and he's like looking through the window, but he's like looking through the window like this.
I'll crack the door. We're closed. And I'll shut it.
I know. Did you shut it on him?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for Abe. Then you just hear you walk away, but you can ignore it. I'm not going to sit here.
Leave the dogs barking at him.
Yeah.
I open the door. Just about 8 inches. I punch him in the face.
Jeez.
I close
Strength
the door.
brawl.
I'm gonna rouse check for this.
Okay.
This should be good.
Oh
Don't
god.
kill him.
Yeah, you can. I said no killing. He gets a.
Yeah. When the dice deem it.
It's
Yeah.
not much, so
One day.
Lingering kiss is a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
that's why you
We'll say you
give him a
punch him in the
fake
face.
number and you always go
We'll
back
just
to
say
theirs
you open
and
it
then
and
back to
punch him in the
yours.
face.
Does he just... Do we see that?
Yeah, it's a sucker punch. Like I open the door, I punch him in the nose, and then just close the door.
So you
again.
just go, you whap him in the nose wicked quick, and he's like, oh, just like,
fuck off.
I'm gonna smack Crowley in the back of the head. And when he turns around surprised, I'm just gonna point up to the fucking wall.
He was standing
in the
outside.
bar, but you're inside of it.
Well, so were you when you tried to put my head through that table.
Well, I mean, potato. I'm still the fucking owner.
We're even.
Ava, your leech keeps coming back.
Yes, I see that.
Unfortunately, Ava, you don't truly you have yet to give this man truly any closure. You give him like a great night and then you disappear. And so he comes looking back. You don't really have he's back. Lingering kiss is addicting. And he knows where, unfortunately, you are.
Well, does he continue to pursue you even after being sucker punched in the face?
Like if you go out and look, eventually you will go peek through the door and you will see a small trail of blood that leads out to the sidewalk. And he's not there.
Okay.
Good.
Apologies. I know we have bigger business to deal with right now. You're what?
There's your brawl.
I hit him.
Oh,
you did.
I'm sorry.
Thank
you. Sorry. Here.
Sorry about that. Bro, continue.
Hey. Okay, she's here. Ava, the vision, did they move her here?
It was unclear. She was walking on the streets of London, and then I saw lightning crackle under her feet. And then I saw the hole in the city, Chicago, that I'm so used to seeing, that I've seen in the visions previously with Saito and...
The same lightning crackle that you've seen before on the ground?
Yes, and then the city with all the buildings going down this long road, the eclipse in the background, and this big hole in the city. That I keep seeing this big hole in the city.
Right. Oh, that's probably the hole between this,
right.
Us and the abyss.
Yes, that's...
Crowley, how old would your daughter be?
Right now?
30.
30. She'll be 31 in a couple of months.
Okay.
What did she like to do as hobbies?
She was 8.
Cool.
Is there anything that was really a passion of hers when she was young that...
Horses. She liked horses. Not that we could really afford horses, but she liked looking at horses. Whether we took her to a place for her birthday where she got to ride a pony.
You haven't seen her since she was 8?
No, because being a kindred and get involved in more lives...
I understand.
Crowley, you're sure the fall of London meant it was safer for her?
Not less kindred around. Not less kindred who even vaguely knew who I was. Not that many did. Look, one night, just got into a weird fight, fell over, died, woke up, and had to leave my family. I don't like it, but it was safer for them.
I'm not saying you made the wrong choice. I'm saying that Ava's vision, if at all connected to the other ones that she had, always hints at that being the, what do you call it? The, the other side.
The abyss.
The abyss.
Yeah, that one. The abyss. I'm just saying, if the vision was that she went from London to the abyss,
She's in Chicago, possibly. But who's to say that she's not actually...
If she went through the abyss, then that would be very bad.
You said he was... I just don't understand it. Other than just using her as leverage, which means they've hit her somewhere and we've got to find her. And the only way we can do that is by beating it out of somebody, probably.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, well... Now we know our boundaries, so...
Oh, we haven't known our boundaries.
She could... The thing is, I barely got to see what she looked like in this vision. She's probably has a different name, a different... everything from when you...
As far as I'm aware, she's still Emily Croft.
Are you sure?
Unless things have changed in the last few years.
Have you been keeping tabs on her while she was in London?
I had a look at her Facebook profile.
What?
It's a thing. Kids use it these days to, like, keep in touch.
Okay.
They do this as well.
Okay. Hey, you said you have another daughter. Yeah?
Right.
Okay, if Emily moved here willingly, I suspect that she's still in contact with her sister. What if we try to track her through her sister instead?
Provided doesn't get
Look, we need last known point of origin before we can figure out where and how they took her. Did she come here willingly or did she not?
Sure. Well, we can check her Facebook profile now.
I don't know what that is. Make it happen, Crowley.
I need a computer. I don't own it.
I used to have contacts.
There's no
my
computer
ghoul.
here.
My old ghoul used to have social media.
Wait.
Skills.
What about Chad? I look at Ava.
There was a computer at Eric's place.
I was going to say we could just go to like a
maybe
library. Don't you like computers in libraries these days? Does anyone know a library that's open this late at night?
No.
I like that's such a as an EE almost like anybody got some libraries. Wink.
Dakota's like, no.
Like Crowley's like weirdly staring at Dakota for no real reason, but it's just like, you got any libraries, Dakota?
You got it. I slightly slide one across the table. Yeah, no,
that's exactly what I was looking for. Oh, it's a good library. You can smell the books.
But no, like bringing up Eric is a good point because none of you have like computer. Like, granted, Ollie has a computer, but it is built for a singular purpose and nothing more.
Right.
It doesn't really
like
use
on a
the internet
net.
per se. It uses a ShrekNet and that's it. Which you could use. You could use the ShrekNet to try and or at least talk to somebody in the ShrekNet who could easily check that stuff for you. That's a NOS network thing that you could ask. Or you could go to Eric's place and, basically just drink him until he falls asleep and then just use his computers.
Maybe this Eric would be more useful than...
Better yet, you could have Eric look her up.
I open the door. Oi, dickhead!
Oh, he's gone.
God damn it.
I could go to his place and use his computer while he's asleep.
I mean, I was going to suggest we go to like a supermarket or somewhere and just buy a laptop.
Or do they have internet cafes in this day?
Technology is very dangerous.
Yes,
we've had our fair share of run-ins. If you start collecting laptops like Zach collected fucking phones.
Oh, well, also remember too, I apologize not to interrupt, but in between those 10 years, we talked about in episode 1, technology has also been outlawed. Like no cell phones, that kind of stuff. That was completely against Camarilla law.
Sorry, that was my in-character response to that.
Look, I can take care of it tomorrow and try to look her up. If that's the route we want to go.
I just don't think there's anything we can move on tonight.
Right.
I can put my line out.
Fine.
But that's about all we
Next
can
time
do
you
right
visit Chad, you can do some research.
Eric.
Right, Eric.
Yes. And it'll probably be tomorrow night because he'll be crawling back here.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Tell him I'm sorry for the face punching thing.
It's fine.
Don't tell him that. Maybe it was a lesson.
Ollie nods.
I pointed Ollie like, see?
It's, get out a napkin. Facebook.com/Emily.craft_712 or something 48. There you go.
Yep. You can go look that up after.
Okay.
You scatter for the night. I'm assuming this has been a rather busy night.
I did want to do one small thing, just to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to, like, while they're focusing on the conversation, because I've been wholly pretty quiet.
Yep.
I want to move over to the dogs, and I want to try to talk to them.
Okay. You want to try animalism? Absolutely. Let's have some fun. Which one do you wish to speak with?
Well, whomever is closest. I don't really know their personalities yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, do you want the dumb one or the aggressive one? Is really what it boils down to.
Have fun.
Every conversation should start with "Hey, dog."
It's under. Yeah, it's down there.
Storyteller's pick. You tell me.
Okay, whatever you end up getting. I want to pop it open real quick. Oh, it's not even written in there. We should get that written in there for you.
Yeah, I'll get that in before the night's over.
I can pop it open. I have it bookmarked.
Feral Whispers. It's a rouse.
It is manipulation and plus animalism or charisma plus animalism. It is one rouse check per type of animal chosen for the scene. So it's per type of animal. So you're going dog. Allows one summoning and unlimited communication. Free but it's free if you use it on your famulus.
Right.
Simple communication requires no dice pull. Persuading an animal to do something. It's simple, so it's going to be simple. That's all it is. But you rouse and give me a manipulation animalism or a charisma animalism. Okay, your rouse does not make you hungrier.
Okay, so you said charisma animalism?
Either or. Yeah, charisma animalism. You're just talking.
Wait, that's weird. So then,
it rolled another hunger check, but you don't need that one.
I can just give you 4 die because I'm not really sure how to, unless I'm spacing something here.
Down for your ability, you can enter it as like a charisma animalism, the charisma discipline check.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
So you do it like I'll do it. So you do charisma like that, and then you do discipline like that, and this is called Feral Whispers.
And you click the button, it will roll it.
And then you can just I should do that. Modifiers, no modifiers. Okay. You see the drop down menu underneath it?
Yeah. Okay then. 2 successes.
That's enough. So what do you do? So you walk forward and you the conversation's happening behind you and it's things you already kind of know. So you step away from that and you see the dogs kind of chowing down on the bones that left over of the meat that you kind of gave them. The more aggressive one, you can see his ears kind of go back, realizing you're approaching. The dumb one just looks straight up at you, but then goes back to chewing.
Yeah.
And the way it feels for Ollie is like almost like you can almost feel like a kinship or an understanding. With the way they move, the way they behave, while typical good human trainers can understand it, you understand it on an instinctual level. There is just that kindredship that you feel when you want to communicate with them. And so Ollie approaches.
I do. I will kind of crouch down to get a little closer to their level.
Mm-hmm. And the silly one kind of pops up his head and licks his chop.
And I know that's Clyde.
The dumb one is Clyde.
Yeah. I'll just say Clyde, and I'll see if he looks up.
I'm gonna have to try. Like, I don't know if I can get a dog voice off of this thing.
Okay.
I'm a good boy. Hello.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think I really can.
I'll ask him. How is it? Pretty
About
good?
The bone?
Yeah.
You see, he actually he gets wide, and his tongue falls out as he pants, and then he's like, delicious.
Good. How you like it here? You like this place?
And you just go, mm-hmm.
And I'll look over to the other one. You, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
How's
but
the
it
bone?
keeps gnawing and very much ignoring you.
How's the bone?
You asking Jim this one?
Yeah.
He actually you just hear him take a really hard bite, and you actually just hear the bone crack and fracture. Dogs aren't usually able to do that. He just kind of crunches right through it as he spits out a bunch of the shards, and he starts getting at the marrow. Now much easier. He starts licking it up, and before he just kind of just says, "Good."
You know, it's wild that I can talk to you. Is there anything you want to say to Dakota, to Red over there.
Clyde just looks up. Love mommy.
Okay. What about you,
Jim? Jim just says, "A good mommy."
All right. Well, thanks, boys. I think that's gonna be all.
They're very focused on their bone.
I look back to Dakota. Good mommy. Love mommy.
What?
That's what they say. That's what they think of you.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, all of it. Like, I imagine I'm having this conversation with Ava and Crowley as you go over to like see the dogs, and you just like spit this out of nowhere, and Dakota's like,
What?
Yeah, even Ava will be like, "What?"
I think I can get some basic stuff out of them. So if there's anything you want me to ask,
Wait. Did you talk to the dog?
right.
Is that a
yeah.
new
Yeah, it's a new
thing?
thing.
Interesting. What's it like to talk to an animal?
Don't talk to pigeons. Period. It's not worth it.
That's all they had to say.
Well, they said that it was technically this one. I think that's Clyde. He said that the food was delicious, and that Jim said it was just good.
And I look at the both of them and I was like, well, Ollie gave you that. Did you not say thank you?
If you actually give them attention, Clyde just gets up and runs over to you.
And I go, tell Ollie, if you can speak to him. I look right at him. Tell Ollie, thank you.
He's just looking up at you like you're giving him attention and he's waiting for pets.
They can't understand me, can they, Ollie?
Can you guys not understand what she's saying?
If you say that, Jim just replies, sometime.
She says she likes being mommy.
It's weird actually when you see Ollie speaking to them. It's not like he growls at them and barks at them. It's not that kind of overt style, like D&D style thing. When he speaks, it actually just kind of these weird whispers, very true to the name, kind of fall out of his mouth, and they sound like garbled nonsense, just a whisper that has a bizarre slight reverb and echo as he speaks it. And the dogs they seem intent when they listen, and then they most of the time don't do anything. They just look at Ollie, and then Ollie tells you they say something.
I gave him pats.
That just backs it up. Like they completely backs what I just said.
Yeah, and then just like they're loving it, and even Jim will walk over after you saying that she likes being mommy. He'll actually step up and just kind of slowly walk over to Dakota and sit next to her, like guarding her in a very defensive position.
I tell him before I kind of give up on it. If you ever need to tell me anything so that she understands you, so that she can know, just come up to me. Bite my shoe or something.
Clyde just says, okay.
Then I'll stand.
Yep.
I told them if they ever have any messages that they can just come up and let me know.
We can understand you when you speak to them.
No, you can't.
No, we can't. It comes
As
out
I just
as
said,
whispers,
it was like
right?
a weird whisper that comes out of his mouth.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I also told them that you love them and that you like being mommy.
If I could blush, I would. I don't say that out loud, but Dakota has a moment. She's like, I might kind of like them. They're good dogs.
You say good dogs, Clyde.
I would kill anything for them. Is what I actually mean.
I
would kill anything for them.
At that point, that's the end of the conversation as Crowley explaining things to Ava and Dakota and kind of brings a nice bow onto the scene. Leaving the question of is she, where in Chicago is she, and how are you going to go about it? Is the plan to use Eric's computer the following night?
Yes, I'm beginning to think having Eric's crib as a regular place might be a little more useful. I know that it does come with some risks, but I'm thinking I might want to make it more of a established place.
Well, for you just tell me what you want to do, because he is immortal and he is putty at your fingertips. And so whatever you tell him, he's likely just going to say, okay.
I think the biggest risk is that, like, you have a lovely night together. He gets up in the morning and goes,
Yeah, you're just not there.
Right.
But he thinks like, but you still say you're like his girlfriend and stuff. So you just let me know how you want to handle Eric, and we will handle Eric appropriately.
I think I don't want him to know that I'm doing this right now. So I think what I'll do is I'll feed on him till he gets a little woozy and passes out. And while he's asleep,
You're gonna go back to his.
Yes, I'll go
tonight?
back to his place.
Okay, that'll leave that tonight. You're gonna spend the night with him.
Yeah.
He will if you arrive. Like there, we could do the scene, but he's gonna be very. His first question to you is gonna be, "Why do you leave every morning?" As he's got like tissues up both of his nostrils.
Darling, I have business I have to take care of in the mornings.
I
have
could
to
you
work
just leave me
too.
a note? Let me know.
Of course, I'll let you know.
Do you say that in like such a nod, like all right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to see you tonight. One of your friends punched me in the face. I don't know why. I just came looking for you. You disappeared. I thought something happened to you."
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I'll be just fine.
I can't
I'm
believe
sorry
your brother
about
shut the
that.
door on me. What
I'm
if you were
sorry
like
about that.
murdered?
No. He takes good care of me. Sometimes we have business we need to take care of, and it needs to be.
He actually like reminds him. He's like, "What do you do?"
I'm a photographer. I work with a lot of clientele and a lot of business. I'm constantly busy traveling around. Very busy woman.
If you ever want to bring cameras over sometime, I'm not against it.
Maybe one day, but
What Chad?
I have done that before, and I think back to the mayor where I was recording him.
There is a moment
camera
for blackmail.
And you actually see a little. He's like, "All right, well, come in," and that's where we'll see disappear for Ava as the door shuts, and you spend a night with Eric. Back at the bar, does Crowley want to go anywhere for the rest of the night, or is he gonna, now that the night is like tailing off? Where does he want to spend the night? What is Crowley feeling like right now?
I need to think. I've got to.
Okay. Do you want to go for a walk? Do you like go? Does Eric? Fucking Christ! Does Crowley go get air? Or does he want the company of Dakota and Ollie right now? Does he talk, or does because it's left with the three of you. As Ava's like, well, now that we know that, I'm going to basically go play nice with Eric, and so we don't have him super suspicious, and I'm just going to spend a regular evening with him. You're going to feed on him, obviously, but you give him an excuse, and you sort of kind of give him closure as to why you're not there, leaving the three of you alone.
Oh God, I know exactly what I need. I'm gonna go to Needles.
Okay. Do you say anything like I'm going to go Needles? Or you're saying I'm leaving?
I'll be back in a bit.
Okay. It's gonna be a bit of a walk, so you've got a little time, which will leave Ollie and Dakota alone.
Man, it's been a wild night.
Yeah, it all seems to stack. Like,
Chicago never seems to sleep, does it? There's always
that's
something.
because half of Chicago only sleeps during the day.
That's fair. How you doing?
I think I'm okay. I'm worried about Crowley.
Yeah, he's wound pretty tight. And I think he still plays it a little too loose.
We've all had to go through the process of retrieving a family member before.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not easy.
How are you?
Yes, all things considered, I'm feeling okay. I feel pretty good.
And your Jaguar?
Actually, she's kind of great. I went to see her again, and well, it was a lot easier this time. Claudia, she came right up to me, and well, I don't know. It just like it felt.
It's the blood.
Felt very natural. Yeah, I kind of thought that too, but I don't know. I just realized how trapped she's been. You know how shut in it's actually been for her. And I don't think I'm gonna make it any easier. But shit.
Speaking of that, where do you plan on keeping a jaguar? I kind of gesture at the bar.
I'm really hoping that this moves a little faster with the Ventrue so I can start securing the vacant building next door.
You're gonna keep a jaguar in a building?
She was already stuck in a cage. And at this rate, I can keep her in a bigger cage and at least move her around. Plus, I just can't keep staying in the bar all the time, you know?
Oh, I know. We don't have to stay here. We can go for a walk.
As long as you don't mind, I'd pop off to the sewer. I just gotta get a line out.
Okay.
Shouldn't take but a minute.
Sewer, street, same fucking difference in Chicago.
Yeah, getting a line out is very simple for you. It might not take more than a minute. You got to find a nos worth, unless you want to use feral whispers, but you have to convince them to do something even if you're talking to them, you got to make like a persuasion roll on them. But you could get a rat down there and literally have a message so you could truly finally do the nos thing.
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay, so you got to rouse me again for feral whispers to talk to rats.
Got it.
Okay. I want a you gotta go up a hunger.
Yep. I'll pop down and find
finding
the
a rat
that I can.
super easy. Manipulation animalism.
Yes.
This one's manipulation animalism, so it's gonna be slightly different. You just switch charisma. Yeah, there you go. You're good.
3.
And it's very simple. And what task do you give it? Do you have a particular nos you want it to go find? You kind of give.
I tell the rat to find Snitch. Ollie needs to see him.
And a lot of these rats are familiar with the nos names down here. The sewer rats in particular. This one, most rats have likely even tasted the blood of other kindred. And so when you speak the name of an influential one like Snitch, it immediately knows what you're talking about, and it quickly scurries off into the sewers through a crack in a wall and disappears out of sight.
Well, hopefully in no time he'll be back, but I know it'll at least be a few days. So I had an idea if you want to find a place to talk, someplace that's even away from the sewers, something a little more, I guess, tense, since we seem to thrive under pressure.
Okay. I gesture kind of grandly, lead the way.
And I'll kind of move down a few and tracing my hand along the wall until I see a symbol. And I start to pull the brick, which pulls us into the labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
You want to take an evening stroll through the labyrinth?
Well, I never felt safe doing it alone, but with you I feel a whole lot more confident.
Okay. I will be down. Dakota's down.
Okay. Then my goal is to just sort of stay to what I know and try to learn anything that I can about Dakota and about this place. Because it can't just all be tunnels. The whole thing can't just be tunnels.
Are you specifically saying you are going to explore the labyrinth?
Mild straying at best. Like, I just want to keep her on a point of which I know, and then look down away, and then come back.
Can I help in any way with my iconography?
Not at all. Not down here.
Not down
None
here.
of this is anything you recognize. The symbols down here don't make, at least for the most part, maybe somewhere else, but Ollie knows a very specific path to follow, and that's it. And so those signs are very, 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 remember, like I said before, when you're down here, things don't feel right. You know which signs to follow, but the directions never feel the same twice. Sometimes they loop, and sometimes you feel like you're walking in circles. Sometimes it feels like you walked for 30 seconds. It doesn't make any sense.
So I specifically need to know, with that in mind, because Ollie would know that. Does Ollie still intend to even minorly stray from a path to explore? And does Dakota go along with him?
I think while this is our first time doing this, I think my goal is to start teaching her the
ones that you understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
Sure. But is there more you want to do beyond that? With the labyrinth specifically?
Just listen in, sort of guess, and just kind of...
But you stick to the path. Okay. It's very important. It's not saying you're going to get lost immediately, but rolls would have to be made, and I would need to have rolls from both of you. But you have time in the labyrinth together, and you said you would like to get to know more about Dakota as well, so if there's conversation you're looking to have here.
I guess I'll just start kind of like by just teaching her about the symbols that I'm aware of, what I was taught. I'll tell her, like, this was supposed to stay to Nas, but I feel like this could be good for you too.
You're gonna only be kind of upset with you.
It happens. Everyone's a little upset with me always. It's nature.
Okay. I mean, who runs the labyrinth?
The labyrinth does. It abides by nobody's rules.
Would the labyrinth, say, be a great place to hide something?
Arguably, it's the best place to hide something.
Like a sandwich?
Yeah, it probably would be. A real fucking scary place to hide it, but yeah. Because there's more than just coffins and kindred that walk around here. Snitch told me there's all kinds of scary shit.
Interesting.
Kindred that have got lost, are fueled purely by their hunger. He said well, I've never seen one. He said that they're called whites. And, well, they have no fear of the Masquerade or anything, so they just, from what I've gathered, they just kind of go all out. They have no wall.
Feral kindred?
Extremely feral kindred. He says it's that the idea of vampires is like boogeymen to actual kind, to humans. But we're not. The whites, that's what real nightmares are about. The real horrific creatures. They can use all of their clan abilities to the strongest extent. Or at least whatever they had while they were, functioning. And, well, let's just say I tend to not stay down here alone very long, because the sounds that I hear, it sometimes is enough to even send a shiver down my spine. Constantly feel like I'm being watched. But I don't feel so bad with you here.
You, come down here often?
Yeah, I do. At least often enough. It gets me around town faster than the sewers. I lose time down here, but somehow I manage to make it up when I make it back to the surface side. I can move 4 hours in an hour. I know that sounds weird, but I can cross town faster than a car. And I can't understand it. But I know it works. It's been reliable.
How far does the labyrinth run into the city?
I've not even seen it end. I know that it spans at least the length of old Chicago, but from my understanding, there's a whole city side for every place, and it keeps going as far as the eye can see, as far as the ear can hear. Now, I've heard tale, right? Like, I've heard stories about kindred coming down here and, creating their own little world, like a personal bubble, But I don't know how they do it. And this place sort of fucks with my head a little bit. You feel it a little like there's a hum.
Yeah.
And it just sort of gets into you. It's strange. How you could live down here is beyond me, but I guess it beats living in a septic tank.
We cleaned that septic tank. It's suitable.
Was it bad? And like by bad, I mean like, was it Zach bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. How is she really holding up?
Well, she seems to be flowering.
Good.
She's, right, though. We each do our thing. And she needs a place to do her thing. Business, as she so called it.
Yeah, she does. I mean, everybody needs a home. You can't just sleep and stay in a bar forever. You know what I mean?
I guess.
That's part of what I'm doing above, you know. Believe it or not, there are some luxuries that I can afford, I do not have the opportunity to acquire because I'm sort of stuck. So, I guess waiting on the Ventru to come through, to pull through. And as long as I keep kissing their ass, it'll move a little faster and I'll get a little more each time.
And keep kissing. I know a lot about kissing ass.
Hey, on the topic of, rather topical, I've been thinking a lot about, you know, you let me feed.
Yeah.
And that was different, and in a good way. I've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not super good at this part, but if you know, if you need to, I'm here, and you can.
That could be dangerous, Ollie.
You're telling me. Yeah, I know. But, like, who better, right? I feel safer with you doing it. It's not like I'm letting Ava Crowley nip at the bud. So.
I sure hope not. Last time I checked, Ava was your sister.
Yeah, I kind of like to keep it that way. I'm.
I almost cackle probably too loud for the labyrinth when he says, I mean,
she's, as you put it, chaos.
Yeah, she's a whirlwind, but you know she'll come back. I think she's already starting to find her feet. At least I feel that way.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be fine.
While I stay out of the main humdrum of the politics, she is gonna be hell for the Camarilla. I already feel it.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, but it's fine.
Yeah. How are you?
Fine. Busy. We're busy.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that.
I don't really do anything outside of that. Ever. Sometimes I like to look at books. I've been listening to the police scanner a lot.
Yeah. Hey, can I show you something? Something that I think anybody else would think real stupid. But I think you might like it.
Okay. You know what? When in Rome. I get that now.
You can really only see it here. But
okay.
One night I was just curious, and I climbed. I saw a break in the wall, and I climbed. And back when I was alive, you really take for granted looking up at the stars because they're just always there. But there's just something that's different, because down here you don't see stars, but you can actually see the nightlife. You look up at the sky here when you find this break, and I'll kind of walk her to the break in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll scale back up and throw one leg over, and then reach down and offer her my hand.
I climb.
She just climbs on her own. That's very Dakota.
I'll point up at the ceiling. If you peer off far enough, just let your eyes adjust, and you can see the breaks where the city lights just kind of eke its way through and pour down.
As he points it out, and Dakota looks up, and you just take a moment to allow yourself to take in the darkness and whatever light you can. It's almost Aurora Borealis like up there. It's a little grimier, and it flickers a lot as people pass over and cars pass over. And it doesn't quite have that peaceful calm as the sounds of the city are echoing from above. But it does have this mystique to it, this magic to it, of the lights that kind of trickle down and filter in, and you can see the dust and stuff moving through it, but still.
Wow. What is that?
Well, I mean, that was...
Is that really the ceiling of the labyrinth?
I think it is. But it is the way that it is because of, people. Because of the nightlife. And I guess down here too, and I'll kind of point off, you're not going to be able to see the end of it, but sometimes I'll see light. Sometimes I think people get lost down here, and that's scary as shit, because could you imagine if we were alive, right? Stumbling into a kindred down here, or a white, no less. They never saw light again. But sometimes I'll see like a flicker of light or flash. But I know that I gotta keep moving, because if I stay here too long, I know that I can't get found. But sometimes looking at that is nice.
Yeah. Dakota will reach over and kind of grab Ollie's hand as we kind of look up at this. It's so quiet.
And so loud at the same time. Yeah.
So you ask what I've been doing. I've been listening to the police scanner every night looking for signs of Rowan. He's, if it's true what you said, that he might in fact be what you say he is, we need to get our thumb on that, or we're gonna lose him to the SI.
We need to make a move on that and Red Pole.
Yeah. The problem is finding him has been an issue. I had plans of seeking help from my clan, but they don't want to be here anymore.
Huh.
So I'm kind of literally pounding pavement to do it on my own. But I didn't want to do it without you knowing.
Well, I mean, he is my son, so we gotta move. We can move in two places. We gotta move on Red Pole and we gotta move on Rowan before anybody else gets the claws in him.
So I was thinking, you can talk to the pooches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clyde is special.
Yeah, you can say that.
Jim is with purpose sometimes. What if we sent them in to Red Pole's territory to scout and report back to you? I've never been able to communicate that to them, to be able to use them in something other than guard dogs.
I'm not very good at it yet, but I can try.
thought it is inside of Chinatown, and we should, be careful.
I agree. It could be a really good idea. Just gotta know that without you there, something bad can happen.
I know. But that could be said for anybody that's in my pack, right?
I kind of make the joke of you and the other two coterie members.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's something you want to try, then we can try.
I mean, we're also getting a panther, or a jaguar, so.
For sure. It still feels weird to me too. I know. Just saying it out loud just makes me feel fucking crazy. I've thought of everything in between about it.
I mean, if it's something that you want, and you're doing it for all the right reasons, so.
I mean, I don't know if I am, but.
Look, people have told me I'm fucking crazy my whole life, Ollie. That I was never quite right. Who gives a fuck what they think?
You're not wrong.
I don't know. I'm just slowly learning that, this life, I don't have to fuck up quite as bad as my first one. And it seems that all kindred, regardless of your fucking clan or purpose or abilities or whatever, are all doing whatever the fuck they have to do to maintain the second life. And if you think having a literal pet jaguar is going to help in some way, and you can maintain it without breaking any rules, well, fuck them. Who cares if they think you're fucking crazy? Now they have to stare at you and a fucking jaguar and say it, so.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. It makes it easier to swallow, I promise. Hearing you say that makes it so much easier.
Really?
Yeah, because, man, I'm not gonna lie. I've been on the fence about this, and I don't really know how well it's gonna take. Can you imagine Crowley's face when he spots a fucking jaguar in the bar? It's gonna be bizarre. And I'm sure Ava's gonna want to pet her and shit. And
it's kind of like, don't rappers and big time gangsters have big cats? Just kind of.
I mean, maybe, but I'm neither of those. I guess I could start a trend. Yeah,
Ollie,
sure.
Ollie, yeah, stop. You are, you know that, right?
I'm what?
You are, in fact, working as part of the underworld. You are a gangster.
Oh, that's.
To some degree.
That just feels like life.
Businessman. But you let the mafia do an exchange in your club tonight. You have a crew and a jaguar soon, and territory and rules.
Am I the mob? I'm the mob. I'm the mob.
The mob infers a lot of other things, but you deal in what you deal in. No, I don't think there's any shame in saying that you're a proper gangster.
That's still feels weird, but yeah, no, I'm with you.
Would you like to be something else? Because you're not just a bar owner anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be something else, but I'd like to be something to you.
Well, you are.
Good.
You are something to me.
Then all is good in the world, right?
I mean, yeah. But you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's getting heavy.
Yeah.
You want to go surface side?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you something that
anything
everybody else would think is stupid? I kind of repeat his words back.
100%.
Where do you plan on going?
To the mural.
That's not far. You can get there in under.
We surface side.
Yep.
I'll keep a distance. Maybe even climb a building again. We'll get up high.
Sure.
I want to remain unnoticed if at all possible, considering the fact that they have been potentially stalking
so easily.
me.
You trounce these areas rather frequently.
And I kind of point.
The smile with the missing teeth, some retroactively blacked out.
I like that a lot. Brings me some sort of weird peace. I come here a lot when I get angry or stressed or feel like I need to put a hole in a wall.
I mean, that's good, right? It's good that you have something.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, shit, I'm for it then. I mean, you want me to go? Like, did you do this? Because I can go get you a bunch of cans.
No. I did not. Not do that. I did that one, and I point to the corner where I put my name.
Yep.
And the shitty
Dakota.
Yeah, right. And the shitty wolf.
Yep.
In the corner. I was like, I did that one, but no, I've been watching. I guess you could say, trying to watch the artist. But it's interesting. It keeps changing. The mural, the teeth. I kind of reference them being blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't like that at first.
Like, well, what's going on?
I don't know entirely, but I think it has something to do with the thin bloods. Yeah, the teeth that were being removed is oftentimes in tandem with our actions. Like
That's
the mayor.
bizarre.
Is it? I mean, the Gnosts, they use symbols, and I kind of reference the labyrinth to communicate things.
I mean, is someone speaking to you?
I don't know if they're speaking to me or to somebody else. You see, I saw this same sign again near Malik's place. I don't know. Street art can say a lot. I feel like you're saying something. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but
I like it. It's different. I like it.
yeah.
Feel free to show me anything, anytime. It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. I mean, shit. Remember, I'm the guy getting a Jaguar, and not a car.
It's okay. I'd make more fun of you if it was a car.
Hey, this might be a little too personal, but
Okay.
you think I could stay the night with you?
You don't want to stay at the bar?
I just want to wake up next to someone.
Yeah, I have a hammock.
Okay, all right.
Luckily, when Kinsley falls asleep, you just become a corpse, and it doesn't matter.
But yeah, of course, I told Coterie the boat was always open to them.
Okay, yeah. Well then, let's go.
And as the two of them get up and make their way out of the labyrinth, the camera will fade. And there are two minor scenes. I mean, we're going to pick up with one of them next week as we're running a little out of time, and I want a good chunk of time with this. But the first scene we get, not the final scene, is actually over Ollie's bar. a cab pulls up and a young lady pops out, and we get an overhead view as she pulls out her rolling suitcase. She looks over at the bar, and there's like a gentle smile as she then steps in the suitcase, rolls behind her, walking toward the front door. We wipe cut to there. That would be Haley. We wipe cut from there to the church. And at the church, what we see is, an establishing shot in the air. It's empty and no bodies can be seen moving, but we do see, just for a moment, Crowley standing before it before he walks in. You see Needles on the other side welcome him, and you see a light conversation begin as the church doors, what's left of them, and ill repair as they are, sort of close to the best of their ability, and they disappear from camera view. That scene we'll pick up with next week, and we'll see just what Crowley's doing in the church with Needles.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that's going to be a thing. Right. So, going over our announcements again, those of you who have missed it. We go drag them up. Today's supporter was Ace1055. Ace, thank you for supporting today's episode and making it possible to make this content. Thank you so much. Massive thank you to you. MC name submissions are now open. Monthly recap will be up soon. And we are announcing next week, Dawn of the Others, an Apocalypse World 2 RPG show with Mad Max and some Westworld vibes going on. MC'd by Margaret Crone with Kira, Nika, Bentham, and Adriosa. That'll be on next Sunday. The finale of Monster Hearts will be taking place tomorrow, same time as VTM tonight, but just tomorrow. So if you want to watch that, you can. And yeah, the new show will be starting next week. So we'll be continuing with more VTM next week.
Hell yeah. The last week before, I think, a small break, because I'm going to be away.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I believe
Correct.
so.
Yeah, because it's 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to be gone after that.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Because the week after that, I'm going to be almost halfway through my 30s.
Speaking of which, Mathis, who are you? What do you do? And when we find you?
You can find me as Mathis Games pretty much everywhere. Right now on YouTube, I've got Mountain Blade 2 going on, as well as an X4 series going on. You can see me on Twitch by the same name doing game stuff. And then I also do more D&D stuff at Lost Initiative, which is a Twitch show on Wednesday nights. And then, of course, I've got my podcast, which is Chilluminati Podcast. Tomorrow is the start of weekly episodes for that. So if you listen to podcasts and download them, you can go check out Chilluminati. We are going to be doing an episode a week from here on out. That's me.
Okay. What about the Jaguar King himself, Oliver Hopkins, Bub Bubbernaut?
What's up, guys? It's me, Bub, and you can find me all over the place as the Bubbernaut. I do lots of tabletop stuff, doing some gaming things. I'm planning out some cool stuff right now, working on finishing writing my VTM story, and I am starting writing a Deadlands story, which is the Weird West becomes wild.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got Deadlands. I'd love to play that or run that at some point too.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's me.
Speaking of pussycats, what about Dakota Rain, Little Red Dog?
Okay. Yeah.
I thought we were gonna go with Mimi on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I was trying to do character segues. I'm very tired.
It's okay. I knew what you meant. Today I am Little Red Dot. All
Only
other
today,
times I'm
though.
clearly a pussycat. No, I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me online as such, where I roll dice and play games and tell stories, both on my channel and other cool places like this one. So follow me to find out more about that, and the many campaigns I'm playing in. And you can check me out during the day as a producer and manager for the Dad's Garage ATL Twitch channel, where we do comedy and improv based shows all day, every day. Yeah, that's me. I just have to say today's game was great, gang. It was nice to be back with the coterie, chatting and doing our thing.
It was.
I'm excited to talk about it in the after show.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, speaking of licking things to claim as your own, Ava, Miss
Honestly,
Magic
that worked.
Tracy.
These segues. Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy, Miss Magitech. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube and all the places. I stream a lot more than I used to now that I don't have much to do in the evenings. So I'm playing a lot. I'm playing through all my RPG list, which includes Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which I'm streaming right now, and it's fun. It's been fun. I'm playing a Toreador named Ava. Surprise, surprise.
That's great. Of course you
but
are.
I've decided to try Celerity rather than Auspex, which is great because I can just run away from everything all the time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's me.
How did you find the painting fight?
The painting fight. The one in the Malkavian. Wait, which painting fight?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't even remember the painting.
I'm trying to
It's
remember.
an optional one, so you might not have done it.
It's an optional.
It was really tough when I did it as a Tremere.
I might have missed it.
Yeah, I missed it.
I go like an art gallery to fight.
I was supposed to say I did it as the gangrel.
Yeah, I remember that fucking quest with the daggers and shit.
Yep. It was intense. Yep.
Fuck that. That took me like 5 tries. I remember.
Oh, the cane and the Lilith thing.
painting,
Oh yeah, I
painting,
did do that. Yes,
Yeah.
which was killing me as a Toreador. I'm like, I don't know if I should be like destroying these paintings, but I'm just gonna go destroy paintings.
gonna
Oh, it was the first time in the game I was like, tear something up. This game, I was like, it was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's been great.
That leaves us with I was say our resident. Speaking of eating monster hearts.
Yeah.
We
tried.
All out. Hi, I'm in Elysium. You can find me at youtube.com/Elysium, where I'm currently playing Stellaris, Hearts of Iron, and Bannerlord. In fact, I just started a new series, Modded Bannerlord, which has a load of mods that fix the game and tweak it to be more balanced. So it's actually working, which is fantastic. Yeah, I stream at twitch.tv/Elysium. Tuesday nights, I've got a 40k RPG heresy show. This week we're playing as cows. Look, things happened. It got weird. That said and done, there were some tips today. I'm just going to pull them up. Pull them up. Come on. Browser, come on. Yes, Streamlabs, thank you for logging me out. That was beautiful. A smooth, well-oiled machine. There we go. Caldy, $15. Massis warned you at the start of the show that you've had it too good for a few weeks. Yeah, that should have been the warning. Yep. Damn it, Mathis.
Man, but those 3 weeks were good.
I mean, they're still pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Still good.
Yeah, I think
Still good.
Honestly, yeah. We just brought Crowley to the coteries level of trauma.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's
Exactly.
right.
All we
The rest
did
of
was
the coteries
drag
like,
Crowley
hey,
into
it's a Tuesday.
It's like, he was like, but I'm new here. And Matt's like, nope, you're not new here anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
I gotta break you in sometime, kid.
Yep, pretty much.
Mathis' form breaking people in is take them, spine, over the knee. There we go. You're just as
do it
broken
right
as everyone
away,
else.
Checks out. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching. There'll be Monster Hearts tomorrow. Until then, though, dice roll over in your favor. Or, be at hunger ridiculous amounts like me.
Oh, I am not. That's just so everybody knows. Hunger. It ain't going away. I'm going to constantly be reminding you all.
I'm more worried about going at hunger 3 into the church and doing what I'm planning.
Yup.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
No.